Welcome once again, all you Warhammers and Warhammies. We've stumbled upon the best episode of Big M's Power Hour to date. I'm your host, Big M, along with my special cohort, Cole the Sea.
Hey, how we doing?
Oh, pretty good. How are you doing after your spoilers big win?
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I'm hanging in there, said.
um, so, like I said, today we'll be talking about the Teyrathi Invitational. The Chuck runs the Light Man event every year, and we had our pauper turn into a prince this year. So
Yeah.
have you
That's
got?
what I'm missing. I should have had the belt up here.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's why
jeez.
don't you? I thought that was part of
I
the.
Mistakes were made. Next time I'll have to show it off.
Have you got to play any more since?
I actually have not gotten to play another game since, so
Right.
sad. But
Well, are you going to Fabricator Forge this weekend?
I will probably not be able to make it, sadly. But
How do you expect
I
to
know.
win? Gotta get the reps.
I don't need reps. I'll just walk in and be fine. It'll be
I'm
good. It'll be
a
good.
fish. I'm a fish. It's
Yeah,
fine. It's,
exactly. Coal of the sea. I'll swim. It'll be fine.
I still get to attack a bunch, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, so this is gonna wrap up the AOS season of 2021.
Yeah.
This is the bona fide ending across all
Yeah.
podcasts. This is the one that we say goodbye. All the other ones,
Yes.
meh.
Yeah, they were too early. Got to wait until you're firmly in 2022 to say goodbye to 2021.
Yeah, so as far as that goes, said I know we don't talk too much hobby here because
Yeah, it's all good.
I don't care when other people talk about their hobbies, so I won't bore you with mine. Uh, one thing that I did learn at the Teyrathi Invitational is that concussors are not a substitute for fulminators.
You'll have that.
Like I said, it was a 3-round event, and I think within 3 rounds, I'm pretty sure they did Butkus.
Ah,
I, yeah, between trying to get them where they needed to go, and then
just didn't quite do enough when they got there.
yeah, because again, their whole thing is that for fishing for sixes, and
Right.
whenever you're only throwing 6 dice, you're not going to find it.
Statistically,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, what's funny is that's why every time I used them, I I started with the Drake or the Dracolith claws,
Because
and
you were more excited about those.
just because it was the same, it's the same profile. The only difference is they don't explode on 6s. So I was like,
Fair enough.
I'd rather build the tension up. Be like,
There we
oh,
go.
am I going to roll 2 6s? Huh? Are you in trouble?
Uh-oh.
And every single time that they did get into something, because it was always like I'd whittle it down with long strikes or something, and then get
Right,
them in
and
for the
finish it
killing.
off, yeah.
It was like, oh, they have 2 left, and they did it every time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, every time
Yeah.
it was get into something that's fresh. No.
Not going to do nothing to it. Yeah.
So how was your Christmas? Did you get any GW goodies?
No, not too much GW goodies. We don't do too much gift giving. It ends up being a couple of gift cards, maybe a few bucks. It's more, hey, we saw you. Okay, I got to go see these other people now. Bye. It's a lot of running.
Yeah, and again, so since I'm still Warhammer employee, I get the 50% discount. So I try to tell people don't buy me stuff.
No, I understand. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. It's one of those, if I wanted it, I probably went out and got it.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it.
Now I do have to say, my mother actually went above and beyond this year.
Oh, yeah.
She bought me since it's off the web store. I was very grateful. She got me the terrain kit of the Stormkeep that had the two rises
Oh.
with the path in between them.
Yeah, very cool.
Which I'm like, oh my gosh, knowing how much that was, I was like,
Right, yeah.
no, you should not have bought that for me.
Just looking at her like, no, don't
And
do
then
this again. Thank
On
you.
top of that, let me see, it's already tangled up in wires, so it's already home.
Yeah.
I had this like on my list as almost like a little bit of a joke, uh, but
Oh yes.
I got this, and
Mm-hmm.
it works so well.
Does it really?
Yeah. Uh, Now I tried it on. I had basically a dead pot of I forget which brass it was, scorpion brass.
Okay.
Because I don't know about you, but every single time I get a pot of scorpion brass, I have about 2 weeks before it just kaputs.
Hmm.
Um,
No,
and
I mean, I have to be persistent, but if I sit there and shake for like 15, 20 minutes, I can bring it back. It's just,
but yeah, it
yeah.
wasn't able to do that. But I've been using it on like my washes and contrast and stuff like
Oh,
that,
there we go.
and it gets them nice and frothy.
Good, good.
So we'll see. Like I said, it's
Yeah,
I'm actually
another
able.
tool.
What's interesting is like I wasn't really expecting it too much with washes and stuff, but it almost feels like it's helping it go on smoother and thinner.
Okay,
So
very nice.
I probably just haven't been mixing enough.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? You just reminded me. I actually got myself a wet palette during
Oh,
Christmas,
nice.
so I will be trying to up my painting game a little bit too. So,
Honestly, like I I followed Uncle Adam from um, Tabletop Minions years
yeah,
and years and years ago. Came out with a how to make your own wet palette,
yeah.
and so
How'd
that's what
that go?
I mean. That's here. Hold on, me. Do I have
Oh,
it?
is it still in use?
Yeah. Look. So this is all it is.
Oh, sweet.
Is and now I have to say like one thing I think is funny is like he. So all it is it's just literally it's a like a
Piece of Tupperware. Yeah.
Tupperware sandwich container with
Hmm.
a paper towel that you wet, and
Okay.
then you just put some parchment paper over top of it.
Very nice.
And it's not as good as a real wet palette, but
But for the cost, I
right,
mean,
it keeps all the paints active. So like
yeah,
say like your wet palette will probably keep paints wet for maybe a day or so,
right.
whereas that'll keep paints wet for a couple hours or so.
But I mean, for as long as you want it to be working on, so it's hard
Right,
to complain.
right. Um, but yeah, so that's another one. That's did you ever watch Uncle Adam?
I have, yeah. I'm a big fan of his stuff. Does
Yeah,
pretty good work.
I really like his channels. I really like his the Every Other Sunday show, which I think he's upgraded recently.
Oh, has he? I haven't
Um,
actually gotten to catch him every other Sunday for quite some time,
yeah,
so I've just caught the little 10 to 15 minute blurps he does out.
yeah. That's kind of my only problem is like he really helped me kind of get my foot in the door because like I
Hmm.
didn't really take the hobby seriously. I just kind of took it as just something to do when there's nothing else to do, which is
No, I
why
understand.
it took me a decade to get a painted army.
I can't say much. If there wasn't such a thing as tournaments, I wouldn't have
Yeah,
a painted army.
yeah, same thing. I mean,
So,
but yeah, that was one of the. That's kind of one of the issues. Is like he has his niche. He knows exactly where he is. He knows what his audience is looking for,
yep.
and now that I'm kind of more advanced into the hobby and more advanced into the game itself, it's uh, I still enjoy his personality a lot. It's just a lot of his
Right.
content isn't for me, but
No, I
I
understand.
think that's by
But
design.
yeah, he knows where he's catching everyone on their stop into the hobby, and quite honestly, though, like you said, he has such a likable personality that if it's a topic I'm half interested in,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I'll sit and listen to Uncle Adam for a little while.
Oh, absolutely. Like I'll look at his videos and be like, "Can I watch that?" Okay.
Right. Yeah.
All right, let's get on here with the news here. Starting
Sure.
off with an article from December 9th. Sow the seeds of Miracle's Garden with Magkin's new path to glory rules. Um, Again, we'll get into Nurgle here in a little bit, but
Right.
I thought this path to glory is really interesting. I really like it. We actually played a little bit. Well, not you and I, but
Right. Yeah.
I got to
I
play a
actually
little
have.
with Neil. Um,
Yeah. You guys enjoyed the system then?
oh yeah, yeah. I think we spent almost as much time after the game figuring out what was going on that we did actually playing the game. Um, Now, since I was playing Stormcast and he was playing KO, we decided to go a little bit higher with the point count. So we were going with 750, and um, it worked out pretty well. Um,
Good.
Now,
Good.
I really like the fact that they're already, there's this is already in Stormcast and it's already in
Right.
the orcs, but I really like the flavor they're able to add. Like you're literally just trying to spread the garden.
Hey, that's all. Nurgle just wants to spread his gift.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So, like I said, I mean, if as long as they keep up with this sort of thing, I'll be super pleased and super happy with everything that Path of Glory is doing. The only thing
Yeah.
I could ask for is I would like to see them take Path to Glory to the same level that they took Crusade by having their own supplements and stuff.
Yeah, actually, I think I have one of the supplement books behind me. I think they're cool. I mean,
Yeah.
they're fun.
Yeah. I really like. There is a way to do Path to Glory games against someone that is not doing Path to Glory, but it doesn't quite work as well as I think the Crusade does.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
but it is what it is. So
Yeah. Even then, it's not perfectly balanced in the whole Crusade system either. So it is what it is, like you
true.
said.
Yeah. Well, again, narrative isn't meant to be
No,
a well tuned instrument, anyways.
no, and that's just fine to have every once in a while.
Um, so up next, another article from December 9th. Paint Amon Hen like it's right out of the film with the new downloadable guide. So I, I'm really looking forward to this. I don't know what's going on. Oh, it's over in that's why it's over in Forge World. I've been waiting for this to
That's why
release,
you can't find
and
it.
I'm like, I keep looking, and it's over in Forge World. But like, so this is one of the issues. So like, I picked up um, the last terrain piece that came out with the Doggle Door, and I'm
Yeah.
like, how do I play on this? Like,
Yeah.
at least this one you already have stairs. This one's a little bit more accessible, I think. Let's take a
Right.
look. Let's do this live here, live pre-recorded or
It'll be
pre-recorded
fine.
live. I am a human. Yes.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
fine.
I have to find pictures with buses. I think that's a bus.
They're.
I
I
hope I'm
tell
not
you, they're the
teaching.
yellow. Yeah.
I hope I'm not teaching. I got a second page. I don't know whether that means that there was a secret bus or what.
No, they always make you do two nowadays.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
Or you are a robot and you don't know what a bus is.
Oh
One of the two.
boy. Oh boy. Oh my god. All right. So, are you looking at Amon Hen?
Yes, I am.
Are you on Forge World, or are you just looking at it?
No, I'm on Warcom.
How
Looking at
much
it.
do you think Amon Hen costs?
Oh no! You asked the question, and you had a heart attack while you right before. This piece of terrain, GW. Why you do this? I would want to put it at 70. GW put it $100.
So that's an interesting guess. That's an
Okay.
interesting guess. Um, how
How
about
bad?
how about if
How
I
bad?
how about if how about if I charge you $220 to get you in one of these today, huh?
Um, I think I'll be good. Thank you.
Forge World, man, guys, come on.
No.
Like
Oof.
it's
Oof.
what are you talking about? Like it's okay,
That
all
one.
right,
That one hurt a bit. That
all
one
right.
hurt a bit.
If you guys, if you, good for you. That's
There we are. Good for you.
all right. On to greener pastures, cheaper pastures. Let's get instead of this one kit that was made by probably one person, let's look on to something that's gonna take probably 100 or so people. Coming out December 10th, Space Marine 2 lands with a big bang and an awe-inspiring
Yeah.
trailer. So I'm pretty sure you and I are on the same page here.
Yeah, we are
Where
both video gamers, and we have wanted this game for quite some time.
yes, so this piece of art, um,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh,
I
I'm excited. I'm excited. And you know what's weird? I'm excited about a fucking Primaris Marine 2 right now, which is awesome. Like,
Oh, I know. Now, did you look into this at all, or did you just kind of like see it and get excited like me?
I saw it, got excited, and I stepped away because I just want to enjoy that story because I know it'll have at least one fun little hook into it, and that like the last one did, and I'm
Yeah.
okay with that as long as it's as good as the first one, and we don't just drop the ball on this. I'll be a happy boy.
Well, I said you see that little bit of combat at the end of the trailer, which is
Right?
like honestly, anymore I ignore everything that they tell me, and I just want to see the gameplay, and I'll make a judgment. Just show me five
No, I
seconds,
agree.
and I'll judge the
Yeah,
whole game. Like, and from those 5 seconds they show, it's exactly what I want. Like, it's
yeah.
anything they add into it beyond that is just gonna be gravy. Now, I don't know if the main character is the main character from the last one.
I think it is. I believe it's supposed to be.
Because if so,
So
I'm glad to see he got his fourth stud. For
yeah, yeah. 400 years of service now. So been
now,
at it.
the only thing is, wasn't there supposed to be a bunch of time skip between? Well, this came out. Whenever this came out, it was what, seventh edition?
Sixth or seventh. Yeah,
Yeah. What,
yeah.
hasn't a lot of time passed since then?
Uh, yeah. So
His head should be
200
just
years would have 200 years would have covered it
his head should
because
be
we
simply riddled with studs.
yeah. Because honestly, in the lore, we're kind of I want to say we're in 41K nowadays.
I think
So
so.
we
I think I heard
just
that as well.
I think we had just ticked over into 41. So I think it actually makes sense he would have aged 200 years. I mean,
Yeah.
he had to cross the Rubicon and become a Primaris Marine as well. So
Hmm.
there's that. Boy, am I very curious what they're going to say happened when the Inquisitors picked him up. Like, I
Oh,
hope
I
they
can't wait.
address that. I
Yeah.
really hope they address that.
Like I said, I hope it is him because A, I love the character, and B, I want to know
Hmm.
what happened to him. Like,
Right. Yeah.
and then at the bottom of the page there, we have a little bit of Warhammer fantasy news with Vermintide 2
Yeah.
adding the Warrior Priest um, class for the Witch Hunter guy. I
Yeah.
actually downloaded this and bought this. I already had Vermintide 2 purchased, but the Warrior Priest is like $3. So uh, I
There we
bought
go.
him and I've been playing with him a little bit, and man, is it fun.
Yeah. You enjoying them?
I think it's like either every 30 seconds or every minute he has the ability to put up a shield where he just doesn't take damage.
Seems okay.
And
Seems
then
okay.
at the end of that period, his shield explodes and deals a bunch of damage. So I've been having a lot of fun with that.
Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds good.
And again, like I played Vermintide 2 when it first came out, and boy was it rough. But
Yeah.
now
Was it?
it's like a whole different game.
Okay.
It's really good now.
Now, I got it whenever it came up on Humble Bundle so long ago now, and I haven't touched it probably a year and a half now, so I should probably hop back in there sometime. Enjoy it a little bit before Dark Tide comes out.
If it ever comes out.
Hey, right now it says spring 2022. Let's be helpful here.
Maybe what we should do is we should record an episode while playing Vermintide.
I'm okay with that.
All right, moving along to the next important news. We skip all the way to December 20th. Curse City Resurrected.
Oh, yes.
That's right. You are welcome. I am 100% taking the glory from this one. Now, after almost a year of giving them grief and giving them flack, they brought it back solely to shut me up.
Yeah.
Now,
No.
the one thing I'm very interested to see. They talk about expansions.
Yeah, I noticed that.
The thing that I find very interesting about that is because I assumed and still believe that the two vampires that do not aesthetically fit with Soulblight, but do aesthetically fit with Curse City,
You were rather certain they were the expansion for this game.
right? And
Rebox.
potentially even the father daughter witch hunters,
Yeah, I give you that.
because they don't fit in anywhere. You know, like
No,
a book
no,
came out, but
that was it. Yeah,
right. I mean, and again, it was shortly thereafter whenever they said no more Curse City.
yeah, it's possible, very possible.
So again, like I said, I've played this. I've only got to play it once, but it is so fun. It's so fun. The characters are really good. Um, if you like board games, pick this up whenever
There
it
you
comes
go.
out. Yeah, that was so. This was one of the things I was trying to give you a little behind the scenes.
Hmm.
Whenever Neil was working on uh, Battle Across the Realms,
Yeah.
since I have a I have one and Dave has a set of Curse City. I thought there was another person, but I couldn't figure it out who. Um,
Mhm.
that what we did was if anyone wanted to show up the night before, we turn their narrative, we make a card for their narrative hero, and they can go through Curse City with their character.
Oh, geez, that could have been entertaining.
But you know, you know
That'd have
me.
been a little bit much. Yeah.
I mean, not really. I mean, the if you look at all the different hero cards, there's only small variations, and so
Hmm.
if we just kind of like stuck with it, or even just reflavored
Right.
one of the cards, then
Hey, this card makes sense for your character.
right,
All right, we're happy. Yeah.
right. All right, moving along here. So we have going over to December 21st, our first battle scroll.
Oh, yes.
So I know this has been done to death, so I don't want to further take a long time with this. What are kind of your overall thoughts?
Um, so I'm glad that we are going to be making updates to the game.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong at all there. As someone who plays both 40K barely now and Age of Sigmar, the reason I barely play 40K is I can't keep up with the updates and changes.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
agree.
it's I feel like I'm being one of those gamers that complains because I would like updates to things that are broken,
Right.
but I'm scared of how fast it'll come. And it'll be daunting the new players, but we'll see how it goes. See how big the changes are each time. If this is like the biggest battle scroll we get, I
Right.
think I'll be fine, honestly.
In all honesty, I think one of the things that they need to start doing um, is especially if they're going to be doing these frequently. I'm trying to
Mhm.
look through here. I swear to God, it said something about how often they were coming out. Um,
Uh, I didn't even look at that, but if you made me guess, I think for 40K, it's every 6 months.
and I don't know. I mean, it's well, regardless. I think I heard a rumor somewhere that it was going to be like pretty frequent.
Oh,
And
yeah?
and in
Okay.
all honesty, if that is the case, it's really the last thing I want. I was perfectly fine with our winter update and our general handbook release.
Yeah, no, I thought that was pretty good. I mean, FAQs may have needed to come out faster than what they have been as of late, but back pre COVID, whenever we were in the swing of things, we would get a battle tome and then 2 weeks later an FAQ.
Right.
If, once we get out all this, we could get back to that, I'd have been happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I mean, the issue I think I'm going to have is the fact that these are probably going to be. I mean, you're probably going to have almost a second handbook of battle scrolls
Of
at this point.
of just things that have been changed. Yeah.
Like I honestly feel like what they need to start doing is they need to start realizing that their rule book is a living document, and I'm not asking them to release new copies of the book itself, but there's no reason that this verbiage just can't be in the rules on the app and online. Um,
Yeah.
like if you have the digital general's handbook, the artifact of power, the amulet of destiny, should just say the bearer has a ward of 6.
Right.
Um,
Well, I am kind of curious now. Did the app update at all? Do you know?
I don't think so. I mean, I think you can find this in there as an FAQ or errata, but I
Okay.
don't think it has replaced the text in there.
Okay.
So as far as everything goes, I think the general gist of the battle scroll itself is it's fine.
Hmm.
I don't, you know, I think the heroic action is good. I think the unleash hell charges or unleash hell change is good.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think the war scrolls are good.
Yeah. The War Scrolls are good. And
Um,
just quick reference, I did just look it up on the Warhammer app. It's updated correctly in there,
awesome,
actually.
excellent,
So good, good,
good.
good on them to do that at least. So
Yes. Yeah, that definitely makes things a lot easier because like that's one of the things that I've never understood is like if we have digital products, why do we also have errata? Like, shouldn't the errata just be for print?
I mean, you got to give everyone a heads up
Right.
that it's even happened.
Right.
Because
Oh,
if
absolutely, absolutely.
right,
And I have nothing wrong with their having the errata up, but
right,
if I go into my app, I shouldn't have to reference it.
I agree.
Um, Now I do have two issues with. Again, even all the point changes. Like I said, the
Hmm.
point changes are all fine. I don't really think there's anything um, super terrible. The only thing that has me kind of scratched my head is with Lumineth. Um,
Hmm.
like, okay, yeah, sure, put the Sentinels up. That's fine. You know, they could probably even be 180. But at the
Yeah,
same time, bring the Wardens down. Like they're not. you, you're really stretching them thin for battle lines here. Because inherently the Wardens themselves uh,
right.
are not broken. I don't think I've ever seen someone put a bunch of Wardens on the table and the opponent goes, "Oh, damn it!"
Right. I think the worry there is because Sentinels only become battle line due to the Wardens. The
Yeah.
lowering of the Wardens may just nullify whatever you just did to the Sentinels.
Well, that's why again, even if you wanted to raise them up a little higher, then I'm fine with that. You know,
Right.
like
No, I understand what you're saying.
I
Make it a 10 point down for Wardens and 20 up for Sentinels,
right,
just for reference.
right.
So it doesn't
Um,
quite balance out.
but yeah, other than that, I think Gotrek probably could have been fine at 500.
Yeah,
Um,
I think so too. But
I don't
we're
think
being
it's the end of
I
the
think we
world.
did a lot of gentle changes here.
Yeah, and again, like I said, I'd rather whenever it comes to point changes, as frustrating as it can be at times, it's better to do the slight nudge.
Yeah.
Um, you know, just if
Yeah, I'd rather not say, "Hey, all your stuff's useless now because we overdid it." Sorry.
right, right. Um, I said for the Storm Drake guard, I'm. I know we talked about last time. I still feel like they just went a little too, just a little too hard. Like 340 is a lot of points for those guys.
It is.
Um,
Stormdrake Guard are in that weird position that if there was no way to make him battle line,
yeah,
I think I would agree with you.
I 100% agree.
Yeah. So that's I think the odd spot that we're in
Yeah,
is that yep, if you just want to bring in a unit of two of them, nah, can't do it.
right.
If you want to build an army around them, yeah, it's still kind of there. So it's odd,
And still
very odd.
fighting that army is like fighting an all dragon army is still going to be a feel bad situation.
Oh, it's going to be very difficult, very difficult.
Again, I don't. So, one of the things that Chuck and I talked about in the
Mhm.
last episode of
Yeah.
Strength Hammer was Bill brought. He played Fire Slayers and
Hmm.
brought some of the Drake Guard,
Okay.
and he said that he would have rather have taken something else from Fire Slayers because they just didn't do enough.
Yeah.
Like not only did they not do enough, but they were set like people were so scared of them that they just put way so much pressure into it that they never got to do anything. And
Right. Everyone went, ooh, it's the new scary thing. I'm going to kill that first.
right, and that's kind of what I've been saying since the War Scroll for them dropped. And I'm looking at them like it's good,
Hmm.
but not two models for 300 some points good. Because I said, I mean, I would have to drop both my Fulminators and my Chariot in order to find room for them. Or I could not reinforce one of my battle line, or I could
Right.
leave,
Yeah.
or I could only bring 3 long strikes. Like the
Right.
army is pointed out to the point where you don't have wiggle room.
No, no, there's no fat in your army. There may be a unit that you consider it fat because you wish it was the upgraded unit
Right,
version of some sort, but that's it.
right. So, like I said, we'll see. Like I said, what I'm hoping is that the dragons don't see play, and they consider putting out maybe a new War Scroll that's a little more balanced.
They'll see play. The question will be over the next 3 months, how do they do?
Right, right.
Because I know I've seen it on Twitter. There are already people sitting on 10, 11 dragons.
Yeah,
They're getting built.
I can't even
People
imagine.
don't care how good they were,
Right.
or won't be. There,
Uh,
there will be dragons.
so we'll see.
There be dragons.
Yeah. I think the Grand Alliance Chaos changes for the coalitions.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that were using those things were very upset, but
Yeah.
I think it was something that was just so desperately needed because it became
Yeah, it was a
such an
good
issue.
change, and all the Archeon lists and stuff that were using it. Yeah, they lost some, but I don't think they lost so terribly much you can't use him. At least if you're in the Zinch version. Maybe the Corn version I don't think really works anymore.
I mean,
But
just
outside of that,
just taking those extra combos away from Archeon
from all the
and
other little
Ravagers
units,
and
big ones, yeah.
and I think finally Ravagers is no longer the best battle line choice for so many armies.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Um, for the Grand Alliance Order, you know, I think if you're going to give Marathi Kane all of the spells, and she's already a little bit of an MPE,
No, I was actually surprised they just gave her a buff and said points stay where they're at.
yeah, I mean, throw us a bone and at least raise them like 10.
Right, just something.
Yeah,
But
just
I agree that was an odd call. I personally, but I think it may partially be because of the army I play, don't have a problem with her. But
right,
I know
right.
there, if you have not played as many games against somebody like Chuck as I've gotten
Yeah,
to, and just people like the first time you play her, yeah, you're not gonna like her. She will be a negative play experience for you.
I've been trying to figure out what to do against her with my Stormcast because I really don't have that unit that I can just throw into her and say, well, I don't need that unit. I'm wondering if maybe the Chariot's just
Right.
the best bet for her.
Chariot at least has a speed to catch up to her.
Yeah, maybe even catch the Shadow Queen.
Yeah, I mean, you want to put as minimal into the Shadow Queen each turn as the hard. That's
Right,
the difficult balance with her. I think
right.
is you have to commit into her, but not so much that you overdo it.
I mean, it's the smallest unit and the least damaging unit in my army.
Right, that's true.
So,
Um, but I think personally, I'm gonna pin the big one with whatever I can
yeah,
for a turn if possible.
yeah, yeah.
If I get the double, cool, great. I'll get to have 2 turns of hitting at her. But if not, okay, big one is at least stuck here with this thing for a moment.
Yeah. Um, Now, I think the only other thing that I have, the only other kind of again, nothing is like, oh, finally, and nothing is like,
Right.
how dare you? Everything's like, oh, thanks, or, really?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so going back to the Amulet of Destiny,
Mhm.
I, what's interesting is like whenever I first saw this, I was like, why didn't you just change it from a ward save to a mortal wound save?
That's something you could have done. Yeah.
And so I forget who I was talking. I was talking to Neil about it, and Neil's like, "Oh, well, this is actually." And again, if this is wrong, Neil's wrong, not me. So,
Okay, we'll blame Neil here.
so he said, "Well, the Amulet of Destiny is actually an old fantasy artifact,
Okay.
and it did just that."
Really?
Yes. And if that's the case, cool. If not, like, because again, one of the biggest issues I see down the road is how much mortal wounds are becoming predominant in the game.
Yeah. As they had at one point before as well.
Right.
And we're slowly ramping our way back to there.
Right. It's like it's definitely the coming and going of the tide here.
Yeah.
But it's like if you just were willing to add in a mortal wound save separate of ward saves, then it becomes a little. You take the teeth away a little bit, and it still has its place.
Right.
Because again, a save of 5 or 6 is not going to happen very often.
Right. They I think they have pigeonholed themselves into needing to just call it a ward save though, just because they had come up with the new
Oh
term and
no,
everything this edition.
I'm
That is
saying
half the issue.
I'm saying have both. Like have ward saves of 6
Right.
plus, and then even if it's just heroes, like I wouldn't mind if heroes,
Got
um,
the mortal wound save abilities.
yeah, even if it was just a game rule. I would like to see if it was like a game rule where heroes, or maybe just something that takes up the leader role,
Mhm.
has a 6 up mortal wound save, and your general has a 5 up mortal wound save base.
Jeez, make them real survivable.
I mean, again, 5 up on a mortal wound isn't the end of the world.
Yeah.
No,
One out of three. We'll see.
um, it'll be worth trying sometime. But
Right.
all right, that was a lot longer than I was expecting on
That's
that
okay.
little. But moving on, something we're both kind of. Well, I'm kind. We'll see. We'll talk about it here. December 27th, an ancient grudge boils over in the fury of the deep. The next age of Warhammer Age of Sigmar battle box. The ancient rivalry between Fire Slayers and Idoneth.
There was one of those.
I didn't even know they knew each other. Like,
I had to double check the battle tome, and I don't know if they even mentioned the Fire Slayers in that book.
yeah, I don't think so. I don't think IDK
I
is
mean,
mentioned in Fire Slayers.
I'll give you underwater volcanoes. I guess is kind of cool we could do, but
So what do you think of your hero?
uh, I hate to say it, but I'm not the biggest fan of the sculpt. I think his hat or helmet thing is really weird.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the little curve over thing is a little weird, but like if you just put your thumb over that part, um,
Yeah,
it,
I
it
mean,
looks
like,
pretty good. And oh my
yeah,
goodness, I just looked. No, it's not. I was thinking those swords were
for the reveal.
were the rumor engine that we saw a little bit ago, but they're not. They're just super
Yeah.
similar style, which only puts another token in the Umbreneth bucket.
Oh, there we go. Good
But
old
I
Umbreon.
I do like this small nudge in the style, because again, like
Toward,
everything else
yeah,
I really like that sash. I like
yeah.
the kind of piratey boots, the one shoulder pad, the etched in tattoos or whatever the heck they
Yeah,
are.
he feels like a raider of
Yeah,
some sort, which I think that's what Deepkin are.
yeah.
They come out, they hit you, they go home, they're done.
Um, then for the Fire Slayer one, I
Yeah,
definitely like the Fire Slayer one. In general,
yeah.
it's definitely my favorite of the two. Uh,
I mean, you own the army, so you should
yeah,
like it.
yeah. Now, one thing I think is bizarre is a lot of people are talking about um, how I've heard both. I've heard people that go, it just looks like everyone else. But I've also heard people say that it's a new take on the army. But the problem is it's literally the cross between a rune master and a rune smiter.
Is it this the in between guy?
Yes. So the rune master has this little torch thing that he
Mm-hmm.
has going on, and then the rune smiter literally is holding up a small burning rune.
Nice. Just para los dos. It's
And
great.
the rune master also has a cloak that is almost identical to what
Oh,
he's
is it?
wearing.
Oh, geez.
The only real difference is he has like that shoulder design or that
Right.
shoulder thing,
This like dragon deal going on
and
here.
then the
Yeah.
gigantic stomach plate. Um,
I mean, that is pretty. That part I think is actually kind of cool and a
yeah. Oh
cool
no, I'm not
model
saying
little part.
it's
Yeah.
definitely unique. That's all I was saying on that.
Yeah.
As I
The difficult thing for me is whenever I'm playing against the army, it's just going to be another orange mohawk to me, and I'm not going to understand what I'm looking at.
well, at least like so that's one of the things that I did with my army that people seem to appreciate.
Mhm.
Um, I painted the base rims different colors,
Oh yes, that's right. I
and
remember that
then
now.
all of my heroes just are gold.
Right.
So that way, you want to pick out my heroes, there they are. I'm not going to try and obfuscate it from you.
Right. Yeah.
Um, I do have a feeling that this is all we're going to see for these armies.
Yeah. I think we're gonna go back into what? There was a time I think we had 6 boxes that were just the hero that was new or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then they eventually released us the individual kits. Eventually,
Yeah.
this reminds me of that. So, thinking you're probably right.
Um,
Also, hey,
hmm.
books coming soon for the two. Hopefully, then.
So here's the problem, and I don't mean to be. I'm going to be a little
Oh, you're
negative.
good.
I'm being a little negative.
Yeah.
I don't see. I don't see them touching the Fire Slayer issues.
Okay.
I just they they just don't care about dwarves.
They
It's
got to give them some loving. I mean, come on.
I mean, well, so again, as far as that goes, what I was hoping to see was a cavalry unit
Okay.
because again, the big issue with this army is like, yes, I can take rune smiters and pop up anywhere on the board that I want outside of 9.
Right.
But the problem is
No
there's
movement other than
no
that.
right. There's no other movement. So whenever I pop them up, unless I go turn first and put them on the objectives that I want them on,
Yeah.
that's all I got. Like,
Yeah, these guys on some sort of like mountain ram or something like that could have been
right,
entertaining.
mountain ram,
Yeah.
small magma droths,
Small mag drones. Yeah.
or even just magma droths by themselves as a unit. That's one that the community's touted a lot.
Yeah, I mean, just give us the uh, beast claw treatment that
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
I do not see them giving this army run and charge,
No.
although I absolutely think they should have it.
They should have the ability to strike a rune and have a turn at it at the very least.
Well, first off, let's touch on runes a little bit here.
Okay.
Um, can I think I honestly feel like the
Mhm.
rune system is one of the laziest designs I've seen in a while.
Okay.
Um, it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Where are these runes?
Okay.
Right?
No, I get what you're saying there. No, I'll give you that.
Like
Because,
in old
yeah.
Dispossessed, whenever it was dwarves,
Mhm.
you had a unit that was like that. But he had a giant iron, or he had a giant anvil, and was
Right.
literally striking runes.
Right. No, if their oven was where you had to be to strike these runes, I'd
Right.
feel a little bit better about it. But I agree with you there.
But
Okay.
it's literally just this. well, we couldn't come up with anything, so we'll just give them this. And um, their stats are so average to slightly above average. Because again,
Right.
I don't ever want to complain about threes, one ren, one damage, or
I was gonna
one
say
ren, two
there's
damage.
yeah, there's a lot of army books out there be like threes and threes.
Right, right. But at the same time, we're talking that's now going to be 10 dudes, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Um, but I say you're just. I don't see them addressing the movement issues. And like I said, the runes are just. They're
No,
nice.
see,
They're nice
that's
paths.
half. It's half what I think the reason they put them in here with the Deepkin because it reminds me of the Tide for Deepkin
Yeah.
almost in a way.
Yeah,
So
in all honesty, like I feel like if they wanted to go with this like extra add-on,
mhm.
no, I want to be, I want to be, I want to be shitty. I want to be shitty. This tack-on mechanic.
Oh, there we go.
I feel like they should have been the one to have like the KO thing where they have the Aether Quartz, or well, I guess that's Lumineth, but the Aether Gold. Um, I feel like they should have had the Aether Gold, and then the runes should have been like commands or something
On the boats or
on the
something.
boats.
Yeah.
Uh, because again, like I said, the in the lore, the Fire Slayers have the metal dug into their skin that they draw powers from.
Right.
So like it makes sense, and all the runes are supposed to do different things. So it makes
Right.
sense for them to burn out one of their
I'm going to use a rune right now to keep me alive or to do
right,
this thing real quick.
right.
Yeah.
And then that way, what you could have done is each unit could have been able to burn one of these runes to give themselves run and charge when they need it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So then that way you're not having a like Daughters of Cain army wide run and charge whenever the hell you want it sort of thing, and
Right.
and you have to pick it.
Yeah.
Because man, I'll tell you, 4-inch movement just is such a feel bad.
No, I can only imagine. I have to admit I'm a little spoiled over here in Deepkin Land whenever
Well,
especially when I was playing eels, sitting around being like, I'm gonna move 14 inches.
oh come on, only 14. Well, yeah, like I said,
Yeah,
that's whenever I was playing Lumineth, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's such a slow army." I'm like, "Go piss on yourself." I have a
I am
6-inch
zooming in
movement.
mind. Yeah,
Like heck, even with Stormcast at 5 inches, I don't know what it is, but that 4 to 5 inch like
feels
barrier,
big.
it is massive.
Hmm.
Um, because again, like 5 to 6 doesn't feel that big to me. It doesn't feel like that big of a difference. But like I
It's
said,
just that it's not dwarf movement. That's it. That's
yeah.
all it is.
So
So it must be better.
like I said, we will absolutely talk about both of these books whenever they come out.
Yeah.
But with only getting a hero, I felt like this was an army that already has, I want to say 6 heroes,
Uh,
maybe,
a good amount.
and then they have 3 units.
Yeah. Yeah.
We definitely could have used something, and I don't think we're getting anything. So we'll see. We'll see. And hopefully the
Yeah.
hero does something good and adds something. What I would like the hero to do, I don't think the hero is going to do it based on on the narrative.
Okay.
But what I would really like is for them to do something where you can something about the rune, like whenever you're trying to activate it, whether it's like reroll or +1 or something.
Right.
Um, because, like I
Once
said,
per game, you auto get the 6
yeah,
strike or something like that.
that would be beyond amazing.
Right. That's what I was like in my mind. Yeah, that's his whole job. It seems like. So
Um,
I don't know.
so we'll see. I would love to see it. What do you kind of hope from your guy? Do you have any hopes?
This fella here, I really don't know what he could do. I personally think, looking at the army and everything, obviously he's a foot guy, uh, so I don't think he's going to have anything to do with any sort of mounted unit at all. Although he does have a little eel with him, I suspect he will help out. Maybe he's what's going to make Thrall's worth it,
I mean, he is
but
the Thrall Master.
I mean, I
So
guess I
I'm
could read the
wondering. So
name.
it says here,
So,
Thrall Master shifts stances to effortlessly counter whichever opponent he faces, instructing his Namarti followers to follow suit. So
so got to make Thrall's worthwhile finally, right?
yeah, so
That's it.
it sounds a little like the Custodes guy.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're
So
right.
we'll see.
The
I
only
mean,
thing is that oh, he's gonna have to probably get in close or something like that. It's the only thing that worries me, and so that
no,
makes
look
it
how long
difficult.
that spear is. That's going to be a
Ah,
3 inch,
that's true. You're probably
three
right.
inch
Actually,
attack
he'll
with
be
the
fighting from
spear.
the back. Yeah, he'll be
That'll
fighting
be
from the
that's
back.
going to be one attack, fours and fours, no rend, one damage, and then you're going to have the fish. The fish is also going to be 3 inches, and you're going to get six at twos, twos, re-rolling everything, three
Right. No,
rend,
you're right. Yeah.
uh,
Somehow the eel will
yeah,
just rip everyone to
two d
shreds.
three
Yeah.
damage. That's
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds about right.
all right. Well, we'll
But if you
see.
get the spear to kill somebody, it's some huge bonus, which is why you never will.
The fish doubles its damage. That's what
Yeah,
happens.
something ridiculous. Yes.
All right, so then we got miniature of the year.
Yeah.
Did you vote?
I did not vote.
Didn't vote. Got to
Didn't
rock
vote.
the polls, Cole.
I know.
I
I
guess
know.
that's before your time, though. That's
Might be a day or two.
that was a big thing in the '90s. Was rock the polls.
Gotcha.
So I personally voted for Krondus and Karazai.
Oh, okay.
I really wanted to see an AOS model take it, but
I think the entire AOS community wanted to see that finally,
well,
especially after last year.
yeah, yeah. But it got an honorable mention, so that's something.
We're getting there.
The veteran guardsman. I said I've never been. I've always appreciated the guardsman. I've never really been um, too tempted to start one,
Right.
start an army. But I've always loved the Death Corps. They're
Yeah.
Death Corps.
No, I've got a couple of different books of theirs right there, and honestly, whenever I start reading the Imperial Guardsmen books, I'm sitting there going, "Yep, I need an army of this. I really do."
I'm surprised Lord Croak only made a honorable mention.
I don't know why that was it, but I think he must have just only spoke to certain people. I don't know.
I'm wondering. Well, again, whenever it's an AOS model, we always have the hurdle
Right.
of, for every two 40k players, there's only one AOS player at best, if not three
Right.
to one.
Yes. Yes. In a good world. Agreed.
And then you also have people who have been getting their butts handed to them by Seraphon, especially Lord Croak, who's a pain in the ass.
You're right. Maybe that's why I don't like to look at the model that much.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the design. It's all about the dread I feel whenever he's
Right.
across
No,
the
I
table.
see that, and I'm just like, oh, here we go.
What is it? You have to put how many things you have to put into him before he'll
If you do one wound, there is a chance he'll pop. I believe.
well, again, it's one of those like 1 in a million chances. But I forget what the
Right.
math is. You have to do like, I think it's like 20 some wound in one round before you can reliably get him off the table.
He's dead if you can do 20 wounds.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we got Morven Haval, the that one new add-on to the Sisters of Battle.
Yeah.
I
I think those models are pretty cool, personally.
I think it's cool. I don't know if it's honorable mention cool.
No, I can agree with you there. I don't know if it's that good compared to some of the other stuff they've come out with this year, but cool model.
Then we got what's his face on the big white squig.
Yeah.
I could
I
see
mean,
it.
yeah, I agree. I can see that being an honorable mention pretty easily to me.
Looking at the image here, I'm not 100% sure I understand why they put they put an exhaust into the poor creature.
Look, whenever the mech boy gets tinkering, just don't even ask questions, all right? It'll be all right.
Sigvald, who unfortunately got an upgrade, but they didn't have enough time for the pants. So
Yeah. He forgot him that morning. It's
Oh
okay.
boy, see, this is one of the problems I have with the constant release schedule.
Hmm.
This guy came out early in the year, right?
Yeah, and I forgot he was this year.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I forgot it was this year, and as like stunning, like I remember him being absolutely stunning when he came out.
right.
Now I'm like, yeah, I've already taken you for granted.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry, Sigvald. We
Yeah.
know how beautiful you
But
are,
again,
but
this is why whenever a movie really wants an Oscar, they release it closer to Oscar time. That's
I mean, this is true.
so then we got the miniatures of the year, the actual winners. Third place, we
Yeah.
got High Marshal Halbrecht. Um,
Let's be honest. He got this because of the guy cleaning his sword.
yeah, yeah.
But
It's interesting. I mean, again, here's the thing: is like this is a really cool model, and I I kind of want to check my pulse to figure out why it doesn't do more for me. Like it checks all of the boxes. Like everything I love
right,
about Space Marines is right here. At the same time, though, it at the end of the day, it is just a Space Marine with a cape and a tabard.
that is true. But I mean,
You're
come on,
telling me that
Black Templar mob.
Halbrecht is a people are saying that's better than the dragons.
Yeah, okay. I can see your argument right now.
Like I said, I get it. I get it. I see it. It's A plus. It's premium. It's top shelf. But you're
Right.
also saying I'd rather take this one little angry boy over a fucking dragon.
This is true. This is true.
And then of course, the one that rightfully earned second
The
place,
one, yeah,
Dew and
the
Claw,
one. They,
which I
yeah,
love. I love that they acknowledge because Dew and Claw himself was not an option.
right.
It
They know
was right.
exactly who it was that got voted in.
It was the
Yeah,
Soul Raid itself that won, that got second,
yeah,
but they knew what was going on, and they're like, you know what, we're just going to give it to you.
yeah. You know
um,
what?
which again surprises me why they didn't double down on it and make an entire crab unit.
Oh, dude, that is one thing that did break my heart whenever we were admitting that. Yes, it will just be a single hero for Deepkin and
Yeah.
Fire Slayers coming up, like some sort of weird crab unit. Been
So
awesome.
since to let some people in behind the curtain here, since you, Chuck, Dave, and Neil all have Idneth armies,
Yeah.
everyone has been tormenting me to start one, and I have
Hmm.
no interest in doing so. Now, if there was a bunch of crabs or a crab rider unit, we might be talking a little different. Could you imagine the
Okay.
like a crab unit where the saddle is on like sideways because crabs walk sideways?
Oh boy, that could be entertaining. Okay. Okay. We're just
um,
spitballing here. We go ahead and we make you up an army, but your crab riders are eels because they'll be long ways on the base and everything. It'll be
oh my gosh!
perfect.
Well, yeah, if you get Alex to do all the green stuffing for that and
Oh,
come up with
geez.
pull all
Okay.
these crabs out of his ass, then sure.
Cool. I'll get back to you in a couple of years because that's a project and a half.
And then of course, first place, Bellacor, the Dark Master.
Yeah.
Ken, okay,
I
all
mean,
right,
it's pretty badass model. I thought whenever he
yeah,
first came out.
yeah, pretty
When he
bad.
first came out, I saw him with the Primaris Marine on the base
Mm-hmm.
and did not read the article yet or anything. And I went, "What do I do if he's in AOS?" Took me a second to realize they did think of that. Thankfully,
So I'll take this. I'll take this for the simple fact that he can be and that he is an AOS model. So
hmm
say AOS finally gets the win.
yeah.
And they just
I
put the
mean,
Primaris on there to appease the 40K babies.
yeah. God knows he sees a lot of play in AOS, so we know where he actually was meant for.
Yeah. Does he have rules in 40K yet?
Um, you know what? I would actually need to take some time and look around to see. I feel like he does by now. God, I hope he does by
How
now.
hard is that to just release the damn
Oh
whatever
boy.
the space space
The War
war
Scroll.
scroll.
It's a War Scroll. Yeah.
Space war scroll.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's it. Everyone voted. Good job.
Yeah.
There you go. So, let's see. Oh, yes, the January 3rd. Celebrate this year's store anniversaries with a brand new Inquisitor and Boss Rip a Boss. Like, or Gut Rip a Boss. Like, holy hell, man.
Yeah.
I want them to do, like, I really want them to release, like, these little ally books so you can have your Inquisition.
Yeah. I agree. I just want an army that's actually just this Inquisitor had to round up a bunch of people.
Yeah, I mean, here's one of the things. Like, whenever they did Inquisitor as its standalone army, I thought it was too much.
I can understand that, but you wouldn't mind an Inquisitor and his retinue
Right.
being on the field.
Honestly, like, I kind of wish they would go back to either, just like I said, just do Inquisition as like a force that's only meant to be an ally, or roll it in with someone else. Like, because before it used to be part of Sisters, it used to be part of Grey Knights,
Right.
and even those have kind of rolled off into their own thing at this point. I would even say maybe put these guys in with Death Watch.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a great possibility it could be in there. Death Watch are a part of one of the hands of the Inquisition, so might as well.
The Xenos branch.
Yep. Yeah, they've got something else, some other weird name.
Well, that's the thing is, like,
Malice.
yeah. So they're
Yeah.
yeah,
Ordo Xenos. Yeah, that's it.
so because that's the thing is, like, where it makes sense is Death Watch is Ordo Xenos.
Right.
Sisters, that's Ordo Hereticus, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
And then Grey Knights are part of Ordo Malice.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it makes sense for them to be there. But there's so much potential with the Inquisition. Like, put the assassins in there. Like, there's so much cool stuff that they could do, and I feel like they're just kind of leaving it on the table. So with that being said, you have this model here, which might be my choice for the 2022 model of the year.
Yeah.
And then we got Haggok.
I mean,
What are you
he's
doing?
cool. I don't know, man.
What are you doing?
Okay, so to me, what was the video game even called? Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
All those orcs. This is exact for whatever reason.
Yeah, I can
My
see
brain
that.
goes there. Yeah.
But, like, this... Okay, so again, the sculptors are at another level. But
Right.
whenever you're looking at things with, like, take all of the best sculpts and all of the most talent, and then look at this model directly compared next to the Inquisitor.
Right.
Like, why in the hell would I ever buy this model? Like, I think if they're going to continue with just picking random models here and there, they need to make a model that's so cool that people who don't have the army are interested in buying it.
No, I agree with that.
And this model does not do that.
Not for you, at the very least. Yeah, but not for me either. I
Right.
guess so.
Hey, here, how about this? You have an assignment.
Okay.
From
Find
this-
somebody.
Find someone who doesn't have Cruel Boys that's going to buy this model.
Oh boy.
And how about this? And to make it fair, I'll try and find one person that's going to buy the Inquisitor that doesn't have the Inquisitor army.
How's this fair? Wait a second here.
So there you go. So you agree.
Okay. Agreed.
I mean, could you imagine if this would have been like, let's say,
I'm trying to think what this should have been.
personally, I would have went with, shit. What was that? What's the main City of Sigmar in Gur that everything's going around?
Oh boy. If I were to actually use my brain here for a second.
I can't remember which one that was. But whichever one that is, imagine if it's like the Magister of that city or the General or something. Like, even if it's like,
Yeah.
whether it's a Stormcast, whether it's a human, even if, like, I don't know, even if they want to go with like the Council and it's like a human, an elf, and a dwarf, all like in like medieval politician gear, all on the same base or something. Like,
Right.
sure, that's more than one model, but
Yeah. Yeah. Cheating a little bit. It's okay.
better than this guy. And look, his face, his shield doesn't even look like him. His shield's all happy and smiling. He's not smiling.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of their shields are a little kind of happy and smiling.
I'll still tell you, man. I don't know why. I know the Never Chosen tries to stick on the stick with the Chaos guys, but they are leaving comedic gold on the table by not having a therapist come in and try and diagnose them based off of their shields.
Oh, jeez. Oh, that'd be great.
Like, oh, do you think you really look like these?
Yeah, that'd be good.
All right, so let's see here. Okay. Let's take a look here. Okay. So, we're going to do... There. All right, so we're going to do some rumor engines, because we got two rumor engines.
Right.
So, December 28th, which is also going to be spoiled here.
Right.
So, we saw what this is.
Yeah.
So, we'll get to that in a minute. And then the January 4th. I think we see this as well, but
I think we see parts of it, but I don't think we actually end up, even in the video, seeing enough of this model to know exactly.
So we'll cover it when we get to it, because I think there's an image of these wires.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that as well.
I think so too.
All right. So then we had, I apologize for being negative, the most disappointing advent calendar in years. Looking through here, is there anything you see that you think isn't Eldar or Chaos?
That isn't Eldar or Chaos. No, sir.
And also little sayings and poems or whatever the hell. Like,
right.
Come on, man.
I mean, that'll be your clues to figuring out who exactly it is, but no, I'm kind of with you there. I don't think I see anything that in my mind's going, yeah, that's not Chaos. No, it's definitely Chaos, or it's definitely Eldar.
Now,
I mean, they tried to slap us with it with the border around them.
Yes. There might be a Tau here or there. Like the was it second column, second row might be a Tau. It's probably
possible. It's possible, but it's probably Eldar. Yeah.
Now, what I think would be hilarious is if third row, third column. Once again, I know this is Eldar, but how funny would that be if that's Tyrion?
Oh boy, they just snuck that one right in on us.
That I would give them so much credit.
Yeah. Just be like, hey, don't worry about it.
No, don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it.
Don't even think about it.
But no, I do think it's Eldar, though. I do think that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we had a trailer for the sneak peeks. I'm just going to kind of scroll down here to look over some of the images I didn't take screenshots of. A lot of fire.
Yeah.
I did take a screenshot of this one. We'll see that in a minute. Let me get these pulled up here.
Yeah.
Okay. So overall, what was your, while I'm getting this pulled up, what was your opinion of the of these here. Oh, hold on.
Of this video itself.
Yeah. What do you think? Like, did you see anything that was like super exciting or?
Yeah. So myself, I play a lot of, well, not a lot anymore, but I do have a Harlequin army I've spent a lot of time on. And I was really interested by what appears to be an Eldar in some pretty ragged looking robes partway through there.
So here, let
Um,
me.
yeah, you go ahead and pull that up. I thought that was very interesting,
So
personally.
so take a tour with me here. Pull up Games
Sure.
Workshop. We're gonna go over to the Eldar section.
All
So
right.
this is from I was watching Honest Wargamer,
Okay.
and I honestly thought that it was. Is that better? I honestly thought it was going to be something else,
Okay.
and I forget the name of the guy. It's this sad-looking model that
Is it
has.
Eldrad or something like that?
No, I think it starts with an M.
Yeah. I'm trying to
I'm looking
think.
for. There you go. The Phoenix Lord, Malgan Ra.
Malgan Raw, he
M A
believes
U
this
G
might
A
be
N.
it. No, I know who you're talking about. The guy with a giant gun, right?
Yes,
Okay. No, I know who you're talking about. Mm,
because he has. Again, there's no one else that has a giant sniper rifle with a scythe at the end of it, and is covered in bone.
right. So he thinks we got a couple of images. So I see that gun. Okay.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to figure out how to pull up the images I sent over to you.
Right.
So what we're gonna do is I'm going to go ahead and just play the video, and then you
Sure.
can use those images as reference.
Sure.
Okay, so this first image here, classic,
Chaos
chaos heavy
cannon.
weapon. Yeah,
Yep.
so no questions there.
Like a Mauler Fiend or something like that.
Let's see. Okay, so then the next one we got a lamp with
Yeah.
clearly a night haunt holding it.
Something's holding it. I don't.
Oh, it's a
Is
night
that a
haunt and
night?
a half.
That looks so. It looks like it's painted to be far too solid to me.
I mean, it's just green instead of blue. We're probably gonna
Maybe.
get a new
Yeah.
a new force because there's more night haunt coming. So
Uh, I mean,
in
could be
this
another
video,
hero for them. That's for certain.
let's see.
Then we do get a little picture of
Yeah, then we get the tattered rags,
Maganra.
which
Yeah.
I think is the first image of him.
Right.
Let's see here. Then we get picture of Chaos Knights.
Yeah, I think that's a Chaos Knight as well.
Uh,
And then we get those cables.
so the cables. So here's what I think. So the cables are either a continuation of the Chaos Knight,
Okay. Okay.
but this cord looks
Mhm.
Necron to me.
Okay. I'm glad I'm not the only one who thought Necron then.
That's what's
Okay.
weird is the cable says Necron, but that like
That brass, like
yeah with the spikes
around
says
it.
Chaos.
Agreed. So it's
So
very strange.
especially considering Necron just had a release.
Yeah.
I
So
I'm
some sort of tortured machine of some sort they've got going on.
which of course also could mean Dark Mechanicus.
Could be. Okay. I'm liking where your head's at. I'm liking it.
Could you
Okay.
imagine if they decided to release the Dark Mechanicus and they have like tortured and like tormented Necron and integrated their crap?
Oh, that could be fun. Oh, okay. Okay. You keep talking. I'm liking the words you're saying. I think this would be fun.
um, all right, so let's see here. What else we got? We got coming up
Some
next.
bones,
We got the
supposedly.
bone. So this is probably the back of no, because like I wanted it to be more Bone Reapers,
Right. Well,
but seeing those orbs, those are
that's very Eldar
yeah.
looking. Yeah, you're right. I see it now.
So that's part
Yeah.
of Raw Boy.
Okay. Okay.
and then followed up. Whoops, there's a. I took a screenshot of it, but I just missed it on the
Yeah.
video.
The
There's the
skull,
skull helmet,
which looks exactly like his. Yeah.
right, and then you have the sniper rifle with the scythe.
Yep.
So that's definite. And then of course, then there's the last
More
picture of the
cloak.
cape.
Yeah.
Still tattered with the Eldar symbol.
And then we go to the
Whip.
the whip that was in our
It-
oh jeez
So
our
again,
river edge.
I was gonna call this another Umberneth.
I I was thinking it is too. I mean, there's nothing. I know exactly what you're going to say, and I can understand why you'd say it because I see a curved blade in the background.
Yeah.
So, since we think we're going down hero row with the two new ones, is this what you might be thinking? A another follower of Cain, perhaps?
Yeah, I think. Oh my
Another
god!
daughter.
If daughters get another
Another book.
friggin' battle tome,
I mean, I don't know. There's nothing saying it can't be our dark elf friends.
yeah, I don't know. The problem
I
is
get.
I don't expect, in my mind, the
Mhm.
Umberneth live in Ulgu, where there's
Right.
no light, and this lady looks a little tan to be from Ulgu. I'm expecting flesh tones similar to Soulblight vampires
To the vampires and all that
the
whenever we get to
thralls.
them. Oh, you're probably right.
So I think this is, for some reason, daughters.
Maybe. Like, so if you look at her armor, it's got this like
It's
greenish
very
hint
weird.
to it, which makes me think maybe Realm of Shadows type
Honestly,
of
that just
stuff.
reminds me of the default color for Ideneth.
Okay, I will give you that. But
But there's no way.
this is not an INF model, though. Yeah.
Maybe there's an exchange program.
There we go. The elves to make each other happy are just doing an exchange program amongst each other. There we go. I like it. Canon now.
Let's see what's next here. Okay, sliding around. Okay, Tyrannid. Okay, whoop de doo. Whoop wings.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we got
Tell
a
me what you
rifle.
think of Tyranids. Yeah.
I don't care. It's not a Tyrannid. Like, Tyrannids are cool, but there's no. You really can't go anywhere then other than just more Tyrannids. Like,
I'll give you that.
so then we have a rusty barrel with a black and yellow cord with what looks to be a really cool like leather jacket and
Yeah, so I don't know if this is a barrel. If you continue on the video a little bit, we're going to
oh, you're
get, I
thinking that's
think, the
part of it.
bottom half
Yeah,
of this
okay.
same dude. I'm
So
thinking it's a staff. I'm
so
thinking if we're going to continue on our Dark Mechanicus idea,
oh man, that could be Dark Mechanicus.
just throwing that out there. Because that's some pretty rough looking stuff he's got going
Yeah,
on.
I agree. I agree.
It's either that or it's a Necromunda model.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going at first because
Because Necromunda like the yellow and black
they
pattern and all that.
love their yellow and black stripes.
Yep. So that's the only other way I could go. But since we've come up with this Dark Mechanicus idea,
Let's
I think if we're gonna go down that rabbit hole, that's where this guy is also at.
confirmed.
Done.
All right, so then we got another Night Haunt. We got actually, in my opinion, we have 3 in a row Night Haunt that obviously the first and third images are together, which only leads me to believe the second one is as well. So you have the book where you can see the ghosty hand holding it,
Okay.
and then the next image they show is the candelabra,
Yeah.
and then after that it goes to the back side of the book where you see the ghosty hand with the rags. I didn't take a screenshot of that one, I don't think.
No, I'm catching it myself right now.
Where he's literally writing in the book.
Okay. No, I see where you're at.
So I'm not in a bad mood. I don't know why I'm being so negative today, but this feels to me like the parents that have more money than they have time.
Oh boy.
So instead of fixing their problems, they just buy their kid a pony.
I mean, maybe. I don't
It's
know.
like Night Hunt players are like, just fix the auras, and they're like, no, here's another hero. Shut up.
Dude who writes in book, be happy.
We put a lot of effort into this model.
Oh
Okay.
boy.
And then an Eldar thing.
Yeah, I don't.
Do you think
Um.
it's a new Kane model?
Well, now that we have deduced that it could be a Phoenix Lord,
Oh,
I'm now ripping through the other Phoenix
the other
Lords.
Phoenix Lords. Okay.
Just, you know, an idea.
Let's see.
An
There was a
idea.
red guy, wasn't there?
I feel like there should be one that's in red.
There's the Autark, but he's not
No, he
Chitnius.
just.
Let's see. We got Asterman, Karandras,
Mm, no, it
maybe
couldn't be like
Flagon.
Phoenix. Yeah, that's who I'm looking at right now. But I don't know.
I mean,
He d- It's got the red too. Oh, maybe. Mm, I don't
the
know. I
problem
kind
is
of want to.
all their
I can't.
plates are so clean.
Yeah.
The
See.
only thing that I would give that texture to
Mhm.
is like that Kane, the avatar of Kane, like where it's
No,
supposed to be like
I.
a statue sort of thing.
Right. I think we might be. You might be right with the Avatar Cane. I think I was wanting to go
And it
down the
has the
rabbit hole too
sword.
far there. Yeah. Yeah.
It's because it
I mean,
has that sword, and then
and then there's fire and
yeah,
everything right after that. Yeah, it's probably an Avatar Cane, which is not a bad thing.
and then the bloody hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Another Avatar of Cane thing.
exactly what that is.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here.
I'm very glad that we have called the new Dark Mechanicus army that'll be coming out. I'm real excited to collect that army now.
Yeah, yeah, man, all for it. We
Yeah, yeah.
and I hope
I
it has
actually,
all sorts of keyword, does X against keyword Mechanicus.
oh, be great.
All right, so on to the first topic of the day. We did the Teyrathi Invitational.
Yeah, we
Um,
did.
we'll go long story short, and then we'll kind of break it down here.
Sure,
Last year, you took home a prize.
I did. I took home the amazing prize known as the Brick of Shame.
Yeah, yeah,
That's for the person who comes in absolute dead last, which was me while playing my court.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, I did that, and
And what'd you take home
this
this year?
year, this year I took home the belt to be reigning champion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So in my mind, I also took home most improved, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
I grant that. I beseech that
I'll take
upon thee
that.
as well.
Thank you, thank you. I don't think Chuck wanted to, so I'll take it where I can get it.
Yeah, the tell you, man, between your mastery of the army and the filth that is the third turn.
Well, see, we changed that to the second turn now,
Oh,
but
oh,
that's okay. Yeah, we started flipping tides because Eels, they got me a wonderful place during second, but I think at the end of second, for the short time I ran that army, I was 22-2. And after our event, uh, my Deepkin, I am at 50% wins and losses right now in third edition. So something had to change, let me
yeah,
tell you.
yeah. Well, I
So,
mean, again, is I'm glad to see. I'm glad to see it expand out a little bit.
yeah,
Just because, you know, it's you hate to see an entire army of just like one unit over and over and over again.
No, and I can very easily see how I was giving people a negative play experience while using that army.
Yeah. Eh,
Like when I was going to tournaments with it, I was regular being like, I'm gonna get you a beer after this because I am a dick for running it. I'm sorry I got to turn 3 and you're gonna sit over there while I take the whole turn.
like I said, that is such a bizarre. It's such a bizarre feature. Like,
Yeah,
uh,
no, it is.
your turn, your turn. Absolutely,
Right,
I can absolutely see it. But the
right. But the fact
round,
that I can get charged into and I fight first still,
yes.
uh,
It,
uh,
and there's no shut off. There's no defense. The
right.
only thing is
If
you.
there was some sort of good back and forth you could do with
Right.
it, that'd be cool. But no, it's really not there.
Yeah. I mean, I yeah. It's even if they just did like I. Here's what I'd like to see for the next book.
Hmm.
And I'll even go far as to say that it's going to be my prediction
Okay.
that they are instead going to have the 40K rule that if they charge, they go first.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I I guess my question would be, would that be still on like turn 3? That would be their rule for turn 3 then,
No,
right?
I would say
You
it's
keep
just
the
an army
tie.
rule.
That's just okay.
If a unit of eels charge at the start of the combat phase, it attacks before the player chooses their first unit to fight.
Yeah, at start of combat phase or
Yeah.
something like that. However, it has to get worded.
So it's
Yeah.
like you fight all your eels, and then you still get to pick a guy, and then it goes back and forth from there.
Okay. Only if they
Because
charge too, because yeah, I agree with that. Because that's the only way it really makes sense.
right,
But yeah, yeah, I could see that.
and then that way you have the ability to try and countercharge. You have the redeploy is now super heavy. You
Right.
know it. I feel like it adds a lot to the game. It adds a lot to the unit or to the army, and it also kind of takes away the negative connotation of it.
No, I agree. It's one of those things, especially whenever your opponent takes the top of the turn on turn 3, you have to go, okay, before you make that decision, remember, I'm still going to fight first this whole turn,
Right,
even though you're going first.
right.
I always have to stop opponents because whenever I was first learning the army, I would have people that run into me and I go, well, no, I still fight first. And they go, oh, I didn't
Yeah,
want to do that at all then.
yeah.
So that was definitely something while learning the army to help other people
Yeah.
because it's a weird one.
Um, Now, even though I said it's my prediction, I would be
Mhm.
shocked if that was what the way if the route it went.
I agree. I think that it'll get updated, just like the tides will get updated, just like Nurgle's Circle of Corruption got updated. How? I don't know.
Yeah,
Probably a little friendlier, if you made me guess, because everything seems to be getting a little bit more simplified.
yeah, yeah,
But to be about it.
yeah. Yeah. So what about so for me, I tied for second.
Yeah.
I tied with Brad
Uh,
or no Brad's the one that got the tie, right? Brad and Alex.
no, it was Alex and Dave that got the
Alex and
tie.
Dave got the tie. So yeah, it was me and
Yes.
Brad because Brad was the only, he
Yep.
lost only one game.
Yeah, he lost to me.
Yeah, which means
Hey.
that no, then that would put
Means
him
that
ahead
Dave
of
and
me.
Alex went 1-1-1. Yeah.
I was trying to logic my way into a solid second place, but if he lost to you and I lost to your final opponent, then
Yeah, it still doesn't help you, does it?
yeah, no, it doesn't help me
No.
at all. But yeah, so how'd your first game go?
First game went great. It was my rematch against good old Neil, who had stomped me for the first time at Tarathi Invitational last year.
You know,
I, he was playing dwarves then. This year, we both changed armies. I was playing Deepkin. He was playing his Soul Blight Grave Lords.
how is that list?
His list, I think honestly, he probably after the game we sat there and talked about it. He made a misplay, and I think he could have beat me otherwise.
Wow,
I think it's a good list. Has good mobility, has a good hammer, has good screen clear in it. So I think it has all the tools you need. Personally,
Yeah.
uh, just more reps with it. I think he'll start taking a lot more tables, honestly, because I think afterwards we sat there, talked about what his abilities are, and yeah, no, he had the chess pieces there to do it if he wanted
Good.
to.
Good. 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 Yeah, I know he. I'm shocked to see like. I guess he had the force like just from fantasy, and like
Yeah.
I've known him for years now, and he's just never talked about
Mhm.
death. He's never brought it up or anything.
Yeah, I didn't really know that he was all that into it, but since that book's come out, I think that's all he's really
Yeah, that's
talked about.
all
I've
he's
really
played.
enjoyed it.
Even whenever
Yeah,
the book was like, "Hey, we're going to release it," he was still like,
yeah.
Like, he didn't even
And it
say
came
anything
out
about it.
when we're like, oh, it's because it was already set and painted, isn't it? That's
And then
exactly
all of
what
a
it
sudden he
was.
brings it out, and he's like, "I really like Death. Death is the best army ever." I'm like, well,
Hmm.
"We didn't even say anything. You didn't even say
Hey,
anything."
it's all good. Hey, I'm glad he found something else that he likes. It's
um,
awesome. It
well,
was a scary game. I thought that it's now looking back, boy, I misstepped and he could have easily taken my butt out.
well, we'll see. I'm interested to clash with him because I did pick up two of the Soul Blight Battle Force boxes. Uh,
Oh,
I
that's right.
I
Yeah.
took my own advice.
Good. Good.
So we'll see. I picked up, so literally in one order, I picked up two of those boxes. I picked up the Mortark box set, which I'll probably build Manfred with.
Right.
I got the Vampire Prince, Necromancer, and a Corpse card. So I now have well over 2,000 points.
Yeah. There
Um,
we go.
my main plan is to show him the glory of Blood Knights
There we go. Yeah.
because I don't think I've never played someone that uses Blood Knights properly.
We'll have to give it a shot here and see how she
Um,
goes.
because again, I think the problem is I think like the kind of the caliber. I feel like the like where I am in the table rankings,
Mhm.
um, people don't know how to use cavalry in AOS.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of people, because again, I would say I'm under the 50-50 mark. Well, obviously, I haven't been 50-50 at a tournament yet, so
Right.
I haven't been above water yet. So at those tables there, I feel like people just see cavalry, they see the speed, and they see like one thing that kind of shows that there is a little higher damage. And they think it's just this like mobile
It's
hammer
an
anvil.
attack unit. Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's a pinning unit. And if you get a little bit more out of it than just a pin, then you're good. And I really think those Blood Knights are, if you pin the right thing in the right way, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, because they are sitting on a pretty good save, 3 up to base, right?
Yeah. And then, of course, they have
So,
regeneration. Or not,
right, which
healing.
right, but keeps them in there pretty good.
Yeah. Like I said, they're not going to take like a block of Vindicators off the table. Like,
No, not in any sort of hurry.
right.
Might get lucky, peel 2, and then say, okay, I hold it. We're good.
Right, right. But if you can get him into that Lord Castellan, get him into those Hag Queens,
Right.
um, get him into that
Just pin
Caster.
the ugly stuff that you just don't want to have to fight.
Yeah, get him into that Mega. Like,
Yeah.
I can't. You have they're going to roll that 6 every once in a while and pick up a Blood Knight, but
Right.
they're still going to have to put a lot of effort into it.
No, you're right. Got to try.
Um, so for my first game was my
Hmm.
only loss. I went against John from Ren 4 with his filth list.
Oh yeah.
um, you know what? How about this? Let's go over your second game so we can both talk about John poorly together.
Well, my third game was with John. So you want me to
Right.
go the whole
So
way?
yeah, go
Okay.
second, and then we'll talk.
Second game was with good buddy Brad, who showed up with an all giants
Your
army.
mentor.
Yeah, once upon a time, yeah, that's for certain. Uh, But he showed up with an all giants army, just
Troll.
showing up to have fun.
Troll.
Troll, thank you. All troll army, just showing up to have fun. We both looked across the table, went, "This gonna go how we think it's gonna go." Yeah, yeah, okay. Well, okay, Brad, you can go first turn. So he moved up, got into my lines a little bit, and then I just peeled him right off of me. We then played as though that didn't happen because I won the double going from 1 and the 2. So he basically got tabled from that position. So we pretended that didn't happen, and it still won. And then we kept going like something else didn't happen, and it just wasn't a good matchup for him because I wanted to not have to brick a shame this year. So I didn't show up to be fun.
Now, I do think it's funny how, Brad was running Bone Splitters.
Right.
And then he stopped running them because they got a little nerfed.
Yep.
So he decided...
So his solution to the issue was to go trolls.
Yeah, to go with literally the worst performing army in the game. Under Beasts of Chaos, which he also has enough to run Beasts of Chaos.
Right, and I think he's very excited, especially after the War Scroll, to run a Dragon Ogre army the way he was talking the one day. So, for all I know, he's going to just show up with a pile of Dragon Ogres next.
Well, I know that he was texting the group, which you left me hanging out to dry.
Oh yeah,
where he was talking about Lumineth.
Oh yes, you were the Lumineth guy. I'll just let that go. That's all.
You could have thrown a bone in there and helped out a little bit. Because the problem is, I honestly I honestly don't think Lumineth is his playstyle.
I agree with that.
I think
there's too much.
Yeah.
2 turns ahead going on with Lumineth.
Well,
and just so much bookkeeping going on.
That's why it's so much bookkeeping. There's no
I don't think about that unit. It just does what I want it to.
Right.
No, I gotta turn it on.
There's no big explosion.
That's true.
It's just whittle.
Right.
There's no moment in the game. Even if you win, open-handedly, there's no oh man, did you see that on turn 3? It's no, did you see what I kept doing by turn 3?
Right. Did you see how I killed 15 models and then I killed 15 more and then I killed 15 more?
Right.
And you died.
The problem is I always have a hard time kind of dissuading people, because if you have your heart set on something, I want you to play it. I want you to have a good time.
Who am I to tell you no? Yeah.
But at the same time, if I don't think you're going to have fun, the last thing I want to see you do is put any time or money into an army that I think you're going to kind of throw your hands up about. And I do a little bit of a chip on my shoulder when it comes to the Lumineth. So
fair enough. Yeah.
So sometimes I feel like I'm a little overly harsh.
Right.
But at the same time, I also think this is only for the Tom Lyonses of the community, and
this is fair.
The people who look at an abacus and think of the possibilities.
Yeah, no, I understand that completely. That's part of what used to draw me to Khorne, was how it seemed like, okay, if I go and I add a little of this and a little of this, a little of this, okay, I've built something.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how Lumineth feel like you got to play.
Yeah.
You've got to build something.
Right. And it's not even it's you have to plan out your turn 5.
Right. Yeah.
And then you have to start on turn 1.
Yeah. If you didn't start moving for that objective on turn 2, sucks to be you. You're not going to make it there. Yeah.
Well, again, for me, all of my losses, or not all, I would say a lot of my losses stem from deployment.
Yeah. Yeah, you could box yourself in with that army
because,
in the wrong way.
Well, considering that the units can't run or charge.
Right. Well, they're connecting shields and all that, yeah.
And so they can't... so if there's any terrain in the way, you literally have to skirt around it. So, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
which has
It's
cost me.
rough.
Like I said, it cost me all the games.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll go into my first game, and we can talk about your third game
Sure,
as well
sure.
here.
John, we're not bad mouthing y'all, buddy. It's
No,
okay.
no, we're teasing.
I'm
Just
picking.
teasing. So John is. I actually played him at Ren 4 when I brought my orcs.
Okay.
He had his Seraphon, I believe, at the time,
Hmm.
and that went all 5 rounds, and I barely squeaked out a victory. And this is prior to Seraphon being big boys in the yard. This was back
Yeah.
in like middle of second edition. So
Oh, so they were nothing yet. Yeah.
right. So the amount he was able to produce with them, I was very worried.
Right.
Um, but with that being said, I was looking forward to fighting them again with my Stormcast because I was like, okay, so even if he does all those mortal wounds, I have enough wounds and enough. I have that 6 up that I can rely on somewhat, that I should still be on the table. And then he puts his list into BCP, and I'm like, the fuck is this?
Yeah. No, it was quite the fun list. What we had: Bellacor, Scarbrand, Lord of Change, I believe.
It was
Northkeeper
Kairos.
Was it? Was it Kairos?
It was
Okay.
Kairos.
Kairos. 20 pinks, 10.
Plague Bears.
What are they? Plague Bears. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think that.
Oh, and then a
was
Demon
it.
Prince of Corn.
Oh yes, Demon Prince of Corn. Yes. How did I forget him? That lovely, lovely gentleman. Yeah. It was quite the list.
Yeah.
It was great. It was a fun game for me. I mean,
I
it was
so
a
John is he is the Wagyu beef of opponents.
he's fun, dude. I liked it.
Yeah,
It
like I
was a
said,
great game.
he's an opponent and a half. He's a top shelf human being, top
Yeah.
shelf player.
Yeah.
If you go to an event and there's a sports score, he's gonna be in the running for taking best sports.
Yeah, no. It was great.
But I did make fun of him whenever we saw that. I'm like, where's the great unclean one? Huh?
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
Where's
whenever
Rodicus?
we show up to the party, he only brought just some plague bearers, okay?
Yeah.
They were all represented.
So I would love to play him again
Mhm.
because my dice were absolutely wretched for the first 3 rounds, to the point
that's
where
right. You couldn't teleport.
John was asking me if I wanted a couple re-rolls. Like,
Oh boy.
He was
oh
like-
boy.
you can re-roll that. I'm like, no, we're here and we're staying.
Damn.
So I was worried about the Lord of Change or Kairos' ability or spell to change a model into a Lord of Change. I was like, if he put that into my
Into a spawn.
spawn.
Yeah.
It's
all good.
Yeah.
Too much Lord of Change going on.
Yes, too much changing.
Yes.
Because if he would have done that to my long strikes, I don't know what I would have done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in order to prevent that, I put them in like the absolute back corner, and then made sure that they were just within the Lord Relictor and just within line of sight. So he went first, got exactly where he wanted to be, and got everything in the exact placement that he wanted it to be. And I'm like, sweet,
Yeah.
yay!
Just what we wanted.
So then I was like, okay, that's fine. What I'll do is I'll still get my long shots within range. I'll take out Kairos, or we'll get Bellacor to use his ability turn 1, and I'll be able to move on from there.
Right.
Well, so sitting there looking for 2s to teleport them, no, I rolled a 1. And then I continued to roll 1s for the remainder of the round, both sides, for both attacks and saves.
Boy.
Round 2 came around, rolled another 1.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but thankfully, at least I'm moving my long strikes.
Mhm.
They're still outside of range, even though they're 30 inches.
Yeah.
And then finally, round three. I still roll a 1 to translocate,
Hmm.
but they're now at least moved within range manually.
The ballistas are here. We finally have made it.
Well, I also rolled 1 to run both rounds as well.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm not complaining about my dice. I'm just stating a
Right.
fact, a statistical
Right.
fact.
This is what happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, so like, I rolled 1s for everything. I think my chariot got a 2 to run,
Oh boy.
and then I got two on the charge whenever I finally got it into range next round.
Yeah.
um, but as soon as I got them within line of sight and got everything ready, he used his Bellacor ability and shut them down. Um, for not only that round, but then he put me in such a precarious position that I finally was able to beat his the initiative roll.
Right.
So I double turned him, and they were still affected by Bellacor. So we're going on to round 4, and they haven't been able to do anything all game.
Right.
And at this point, my chariot's gone. I have 1 unit of indicators down to like 5 models. Another one is doing well against Bellacor himself.
Hmm.
It was a long haul. It was a very steep hill to climb, but we did
Yeah.
eventually get that. And it was like once I started picking things off, it pretty much crumbled.
Right.
And
It was just too little, too late.
if I vehemently believe that if I was able to get average rolls,
Mhm.
that would have been a different game.
It's very possible. It's very
Uh,
possible.
because I said once everything started going, everything started
Right.
melting.
Hmm.
But like we're talking about, I did get to have a lot of fun with uh, Lord Commander.
Oh yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out where, like, how much is too much.
Okay.
And I think with the way his rules work, I think it's basically like it's always going to be that way. Like I don't think
Right. You're just gonna put. Oh. Oh. I'm so sorry.
right. It's like if I put him into a hero, he does, he has potential of doing a lot of damage, but it is
Mhm.
only 4 attacks at the end of the day.
Right. Right.
Um, Now, again, each one of those attacks does do 4 damage, which is insane.
Yes. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay.
Um,
Damage.
but man, I wish there was like a
Mhm.
compromise and I could have like 6 attacks at 3 damage. Like, I know that's a
Right.
higher percentage, but like, it would have been nice.
Yeah. No, I agree.
um, so then the but like if you put them after a hero, there's always a chance you're going to whiff or not do just enough damage, or there's a chance if you put them into a unit that the unit's going to have too many things and overwhelm him
Right. Yeah.
because
That's the big fear. Is you throw him into something, you go, oh no, I
right
didn't kill enough. I'm gonna die in
now again
return.
he's a 3-up 4-up.
Right. But his big worry is a bunch of inconsequential things that can get past that armor save because you got to throw enough dice.
Right, and so it's like as long as he can kill 1 model, he erases all wounds.
Right.
So as long as you can get him into, basically all you're looking for is a unit that's not going to do 8 damage to him in 1 round.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
um, but he's so much fun. He's so much
Good. I'm
fun.
glad to hear it. I really am.
I think his points are right. I think they're right on the
Okay.
button. Um, yeah, I think he's great. I don't think he's too strong. I don't think if I were to see him on the other side of the table, I'm not going to be sweating bullets, but I'm going to go, ugh, okay, it's going to be a little bit of a hurdle here, but
Right.
he's not going to be, he's going to be a game changer, not a game ender.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think is a good way to put it. And
What would you recommend somebody do if they see him across the table? Generally, not on an army specific thing. How would
Only
you deal
go
with him?
after him if you know you can kill him.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
really if you know that you can. If you don't know if you can do 8 damage or not, just leave him alone because it doesn't matter because he's going to heal it up.
Right.
And his abilities are not impacted by being in combat.
Okay.
You still get to pick a unit to do whatever mortal wounds to him, regardless of whether he's in combat. He doesn't have to pick the unit he's in. It doesn't matter. So yeah,
Gotcha.
if you can't kill him, stay away from him.
Okay. Good.
But
Good to
not
know.
you. You should always try. You should always try
Uh,
and kill him.
no, I still wasn't planning on it. So
So, anyways, so that was John's one loss of the day, or no,
Wh-
sorry,
one of his two wins
his
of
one of
the
his
day.
two wins. So my only
Yeah.
loss of the day.
Yeah.
How did your game play out?
Our game went pretty good. Was Savage Gains, good old Chuck Moore special. Set it up so that I was heavily leaning on the left side of the table so I could try and wrap around
Mm.
and get his objective. He decided that was the side of the table he would like to do the same thing on as well, which was a thing that occurred. I finished deploying first, gave him turn one. First thing he did was pop Bellacor's ability and say Murder Turtle is gonna kind of sit this one out for a turn or two.
On turn one.
Yep, turn one.
Okay.
I think it may have been a little early, in my
Yeah.
opinion, and I don't know if I'd have gone Turtle. I'd have probably done my 30-man unit of Reavers, but
Yeah.
that's what John decided, and we went with it. He moved up, summoned a unit of 5 pink horrors to add to his other 20.
Oh my
So,
god. That
yeah.
was like the one thing that drove me up the walls. He just, oh, pink horse. Oh, pink horse.
Yep. And hey, it's good. Basically fought over that left-hand objective for 2 turns. John actually made it into my home objective
Wow.
on the bottom side of turn 2, doubled it into 3. So he got a good 10 to 12 point lead on me going into the bottom of 3, from which the turtle was sitting in my backfield still, thanks to Bellacor having not allowed him to do anything. So he kicked John out of my backfield very quickly all on his own, having been pissed off from sitting around for what felt like forever.
Yeah.
From there, I was actually able to make it into John's own territory and hold his objective and prevent him from scoring at all, as I had taken the right-hand side objective and picked it up off the table whenever I went bottom of turn 3. So I ended up killing, I want to say, 150 wounds worth of pink horrors, and I think the entire list except for the Demon Prince and oh geez, I'm gonna hate myself for not remembering Scarbrand's name. There we go. Scarbrand, I think, actually got to leave that game untouched. Yeah. So yeah, that was a time, but it was quite the thing. I think I ended up coming up ahead by a decent amount by the end of that game. I just flipped the switch after turn 3 and went and got him.
Here, 1 second here.
I'd actually flipped the tide so that my go first turn was on turn 2. So turn 3 was not just the normal flip the switch. We were running and shooting that turn.
See, man, I was so hoping that we were gonna be in the finals because, like,
I was too. I wanted the Big M's Power Hour final.
and oh man, I'm telling you, anyone else, any other time, like even if we redone the game, I feel like I would have got it. But
It's all good.
so my round 2 was against Chuck,
Okay.
and I don't know if you're a wrestling fan, but if if Jim Ross was around, he would have reminded me several times that Chuck Moore is a human being.
Oh.
So I completely tabled him by round 4.
Seems all right.
It was just I got the rolls I needed. I got everything,
if the dice didn't like you in game one, they decided here's your averages on game two, huh?
Right, right. I mean, well, that's the thing is like, um, so he only had one of his bow snakes, which I
Okay.
appreciated.
Right. Yeah. So he didn't go full. That's right. He didn't go full on Wrathy
Yeah,
and the bow
yeah.
snakes.
He didn't have Marathi, so we weren't getting the
Mhm.
double shooting every round. But I was able to use again, thanks to Lord Commander, where I had basically baited him into putting his bow snakes to snipe my long striders or long strikes.
Okay.
Then I used the Lord Commander's ability to redeploy, pick them up, and put them outside of 30 and behind cover.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
And then also put the Lord Relictor behind terrain as well, to the point where he forgot about him, even though I reminded Chuck several times that he was still there. Uh,
That's good.
um, so then basically what happened was is I just turn one, he went first, got himself into position, tried to shoot a little bit, but I had moved everything out of his way. And we had like a big centerpiece terrain, so
Hmm.
like it was hard to kind of get line of sight around it.
Hmm.
Uh, so on my turn, I was able to basically counter move everything. I was able to get the somehow by the miracle of God, I was able to find a 2 or higher on my
There
teleport
we go.
die, and I
Good.
basically put them on the other side
Hmm.
of the terrain, put them within 30, picked the majority of the unit off, and then brought my charioted in to finish them off.
There we go.
Um, I'm telling you, man, outside of game one,
Hmm.
every other game the chariot has been so good.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Honestly.
I can't. I can't. You look at the rules and you're like, it's okay. Like I'm
Hmm.
mainly taking it because it's cheap, you know.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
then it ends up being the MVP. Like
Awesome. Hey, nothing wrong with that.
honestly, one of the best things is like if it survives,
Mhm.
great. I get to charge again later. If it
Right.
doesn't, I'm rolling 12 dice on a 5 up to do mortal wounds back to you.
Right.
So
Boy.
that's a
Yeah.
win-win.
Yeah. It's okay. It's
And on
okay.
top of that, you also spent a turn attacking the dumb chariot instead of something else I
Right.
really
The thing that you didn't want to fight. Yeah.
right. Because I'm not holding objectives with the damn thing. Like,
No, it's one model.
right.
Counts as two. Who cares?
Well, for me, it counts as 3.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
you're forgiven. Um,
Okay.
and then my round 3 was against Alex,
Okay.
who's I'm gonna have to say almost was my previous rival, where we were always like every single time was
Any,
like he was
hey,
always
did you go to a tournament? You're there. You're
right.
fighting each
We
other.
always fight each other, and he's always my toughest match. And like
Ah,
this time, it was, um, well, if you can make a smoothie out of halflings, we would have figured
mm,
that out with that game. That's
mm-hmm. Gotcha.
um, is I think Alex played that game as good as he could have.
Okay.
I think cities are just starting to show their age.
No, that book is getting older. It definitely was one of the top tier books for a while there whenever it came out.
Yeah,
But I have to agree. It's starting to show.
yeah,
It doesn't quite have all the tools for third ed at this
right,
point.
and I feel bad about that, but like, um, go to war with the army you got, right?
Right. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, I was able to blow his Huracanum off turn 1,
Awesome.
and because
That's
I went first,
pretty big.
he gave me or no, I took first turn because he had so many drops.
Right. Yeah. I remember that list was just, yes, you will get to choose.
And on the stage we were on, there was like, if this was the side of the table, we had like a big castle wall like this
Oh,
whole way.
yes. That table you guys were playing on.
So
Oh,
I put my long strikes up there that had a perfect line of sight of the Huracanum, and I was
hmm.
like, okay, hero shooting, boom. I did like 75% of the wounds, and then I shot my shooting phase. I was like, I'm not even gonna split the attacks. Everything into it, took it off the
Right.
table, and he was like, Hmm. Well, that's only
That's
a.
not a good place to start. Yeah.
He's like, that's hmm. And then like it was so funny because like he was so like trying to figure out like okay how big of a deal is that, and then like
Mhm.
at the same time he was like it's not good, I don't like it,
Right.
and then his turn came up and he was like boy I really don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that the rest of the match was basically him bouncing off of me and then me pushing back and just grinding.
Right.
um, I almost tabled him as well,
Okay.
and
So just
he
the slow grind of that golden armor going through people,
yeah,
or silver in your
and
yeah.
for anyone that is still listening,
Hmm. Yeah, it's
he
only been a little while.
yeah he it is a horde army of horde armies. I mean, it is
Mhm.
nothing but like 20 and 30 man blocks.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, it is.
so like I said, my my one was just this eked out loss, and then the other two were just runaway victories.
Awesome.
So like I said, I
Very
and
confident that had you gotten that
not very
start off.
confident. I am morbidly curious.
Oh, understood. Understood. It was
when
more of a how close could I have gotten the tabling all of my opponents?
yeah. Well, again, whenever we get to LVO, we have to get a game in the day before. So
Agreed. Agreed. We haven't gotten one in. Well, we did have the one the night before. What was that? NashCon.
yeah,
That was it.
well, we got that,
Yeah.
and then well, we've actually
Oh,
played a decent amount.
beforehand.
We got
Yeah,
Ren 4.
actually, we have because yeah, Ren 4, and then we also had before that down at Ligonier when I was trying to
You know,
figure out Stormcast long before this book.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you got spanked by giants, and you got your revenge on giants.
Yep. That I did. That I did.
All right. Well, let's see. Even though the episode is running a little long, I do need to talk about Nurgle.
That's okay.
It's a need. So let's kind of
It is
start.
necessary.
Let's start off on the high overview. What do you think of the Nurgle book? Now that you should have had enough time to kind of read it a little bit.
Right. Having taken some time to look at it, um, as far as competitiveness goes, I'm not entirely certain that it's going to be a top tier army. I think it will have odd matchups where we'll sit there and go, oh, I actually kind of get around this okay. But I don't think it'll be the biggest thing. It'll be a 3-2-4-1 army at best if someone knows what they're doing. Some of the ability changes are pretty interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that our mortals, well, our the Nurgle mortals, are just chilling on a 5-up all the time now. No more need to babysit them or anything.
Yeah,
Um, the only other thing, the one thing I'm not entirely certain I like is the disease mechanic itself.
I'm
I'm
very
not a fan of
torn.
that much. Right. It seems like a lot of bookkeeping, and the idea that you go back down to one disease point at the end of the turn
Yeah,
is just, ugh,
I
man.
feel like.
I worked so hard to get. Oh, okay, it's gone.
See, here's the problem with that. Is like, and I agree. I agree completely because like
Hmm.
considering that. Well, we'll get into disease here in a minute. Let's
No,
continue
you're
with
fine.
your overview.
Yeah.
So any other kind of overview thoughts?
Outside of that, no, nothing too big. I mean, the movement loss is going to make everyone who was playing that army have to take a step back, rethink how you play it, and then go back into it.
Yeah,
Because it is nowhere near the zoom across the table army is what it was.
which I also think it shouldn't have been in the first
I
place.
no, I'm not arguing that it
Yeah,
should have been. I
but
the
it's
disease
a hard loss. It is a
right,
hard loss.
right. It is going to be missed by those players a lot. The people that stick with that army, it is going to be felt
Yeah.
that you will not be in your opponent's deployment zone turn one.
So what kind of what letter grade would you give the battle tome overall?
Um, if we're just looking at it in a competitive way, I think it's solid B. I don't think that it's going to ever rise above that.
Yeah.
And honestly, just some of the bookkeeping things, I think, are what are also keeping it down.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with a lot of your sentiments there. I yeah, I mean, you touched on basically everything that I was thinking as well. I For me personally, I think it is the most. No other battle tome has struck the feel of their army as well as Nurgle.
I agree with that. This did
Um,
great for that.
so for me, I would give it, like, if I'm going purely competitive, I'm going to give it a C. But
Okay.
I'm going to give the narrative aspect an A plus, so I'm going to give it an overall B.
Okay. I can't argue with the A plus on the narrative end of this book. It
Yeah.
definitely feels like I'm playing Nurgle now.
This feels like an amazing Bars army.
Yeah, I agree. Good old narrative event. We're gonna have this name dude work his way up into Grandpa Nurgle's favor.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Now, with that being said, to go a little bit more into specifics, uh, again, this speed thing that we're GW needs to realize, if you're going to give the normal or the median average movement speed of 4 up to an arm or 4 inches to an army, you have to give it something else. You cannot. You cannot just go, here's a 4 up. Good luck.
Right.
Even with the smaller board size, it's better now that the board is smaller. But I need something.
The army does at least have the flies. If you really need some movement, it does have something it can throw out there. And also, it is at least tough enough of an army that can take some shooting on its way over to you.
Yes. I definitely think the drones, which I feel the drones are pretty underwhelming.
Yeah, no, I agree. They are the epitome of, I'm here to pin, I'm not going to kill you.
Right. I feel the drones are very underwhelming. I really like the Blight Kings. I think I've always been a fan of them.
Getting a 5 up out of nowhere.
Oh yeah,
happy days.
Like, so, I mean, here's the thing: is like what's funny is like I've Ren 4 was simply riddled with Nurgle players whenever their first edition, second edition Battle Tome came out.
Their first book came out, yeah.
Everyone that was like competitive and all this other stuff, like they just straight up overlooked the Blight Kings every time.
Yeah, no, I won't disagree with that.
Every player I've ever known that brought Blight Kings have absolutely loved Blight Kings. I said, even whenever I had my Nurgle army for a little bit, I had Blight Kings in them, and they were by far the highlight joy. Because it was just like, people would just put so much into them, and they're like, what do you mean there's only 2? How many wounds that one got left? I'm like, 5. 5!
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to attack you with foul mouth parts now, if you don't mind.
Yeah. I actually would like to not have that happen.
They're not even going to attack you with them. They're just going to kind of like suckle on you with them.
Right, yeah.
The problem is like, it's so weird. I don't understand their development process. And the reason I say that is because it is high peaks and low valleys of competency through this battle tome. You have some concepts that are very smart, and then like they'll take things out because they think they're too strong. And kind of what I'm talking about, the main thing I'm talking about there is the absolute loss of +1 attack buffs across the army.
Yeah. No, I have to agree. They did lose a lot of that, which was a sad thing to see for, especially if you want to play some Plague Bearers.
Right. And so that's something that's vital to the army. Like, the army is balanced off of how smart are you to know to pull these guys in and buff and buff and buff.
Right.
But then, after they take those toys away, they completely miss the boat about giving you some toys back.
Right.
Like, they take away all your toys, they give you no tools.
Yeah, they just gave you being tougher to kill, that
Right.
2 wounds on plague bearers and all that. That's it.
And thank you. Like, I
Right.
appreciate that, but at the same time, we do need the rest of it. Like, you cannot play this game without killing things.
Right. No, you do need to push an objective a little bit. Even
Right.
if it's only once or twice a game, you need to be able to push an objective.
Right. And on top of that, if you are going to be like this, then you need to be counting as more on an objective.
Right. Yeah, I agree. If you want to be the army that just holds something,
Right.
you gotta count. Yeah,
Right.
I agree.
Absolutely. And I feel like these are kind of the shortcomings of the army where they didn't do these things.
Mhm.
But then at the same time, like, diseased is
It's a cool idea.
it's a very cool idea. I absolutely
Right.
love the idea of it, and it's awesome. The problem
What?
is, I think to do it right, you have to become, and I say this with great hesitancy, you
Mhm.
have to make it more complex.
Okay.
Here's what I would do with it.
Hmm.
And then
Go
I
for
would
it,
let
because I know I don't like it how it sits now, but my problem is like hard to critique it because I couldn't come up with a better way.
here's now again, basically what I would do is if I was in the GW team, I would have
Mhm.
thrown this out and I said, let someone else file off the edges. Like, let someone else sand it
Mhm.
down for me.
Right.
Have the generation work the same way.
Okay.
So start of the movement phase, start of the combat phase, and then anytime you roll 6 to hit. All that's fine.
Hmm.
Um, but here's what else I would do. Um, I don't remember if the trees have to give out disease, right?
I don't know what all the trees do anymore. I think the trees only give you +1 to your summoning
Well, let's
points
see.
each turn.
Let's see if the trees have the maggotkin keyword. Because if they do, awesome. If they
Mhm.
don't, how dare you? Feculent Normal. It doesn't have command abilities. Let's see. Spreading disease. Nope. Uproot. No.
I
Impactful.
think
No.
think you make a contagion point or whatever it is, the summoning points, and
Okay.
that's it.
So, absolute travesty. So first off, my
Right.
trees,
Yeah.
my trees are going to be giving out disease. I would say either D3 disease at the start of the round,
Hmm.
or the way it normally is. Except for I would also go at 6 inches instead of 3.
You give 1 at 6 inches. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Now, in the battle shock phase,
Hmm.
the unit, you no matter what remove 1 disease token,
Hmm.
and then you also remove a number of tokens equal to the number of mortal wounds you did to the unit.
Okay.
So if
Okay.
I'm capped out at 7, and I get 2 5s, um, remove the 2 and then the 1 just for natural. So then it's down to
Right.
4 tokens.
Okay.
I'm going to add a stipulation onto um, the spreading though, to
Okay.
not just Maggotkin of Nurgle. I'm going to
Mhm.
say if you are within 3 inches of a Maggotkin of Nurgle unit or a unit with a disease token.
Yeah. Okay.
So now you're spreading.
Right. I see what you're saying.
Um, Again, I know that's a lot.
Right. And
I
that is, I think, going to be a lot of people's problem is, boy, are you showing up with a bag of tokens whenever you're playing this
Right.
army.
And again, like I said, everyone's been talking about D8s. Absolutely go and get D8s.
Yeah, no, if you're playing this army, go and invest in some.
Now the alternative. There's another
Mhm.
alternative that is um, less fun, but is
Okay.
easier, and it also requires a lot more changes.
Okay.
If you are within 3 inches of a magic counter neural unit, or if you are within 3 inches of a unit within 3 inches,
Hmm.
you are diseased.
Okay. Currently, yep.
And then you add all of this shit through all the different spells, different abilities, and everything that does something extra against diseased opponents.
Okay. No, I can see what you're saying there.
So
That it
that way
does something extra. So,
it's no bookkeeping.
right.
It's just, okay, you're diseased, boom, boom, boom. And even if at that point, if you wanted to roll, if you just wanted to roll 1 die for every
I was going to
model,
say 1 die for each unit on a 3-up D3 mortal, something like that.
yeah.
If
If
you're
you want to do
diseased.
either that, or if you wanted to roll a die and on a 6-up per model.
Okay. Sure.
But then again, then against giants, it doesn't do anything.
Right.
Um, so, like I said, overall, I liked where they were started with disease.
Hmm.
And
No, I like the idea. I think it
yes,
just could have been done better. That's all.
yes. And like I said, it's just like, it's one of those things. It's like you came up with this amazing idea and then you just stopped.
Hmm.
And because again, like trying to deal with disease points and contagion points, and then you also have to worry about the wheel. Like
Yeah,
that
there's
is
a
a
lot going on.
lot.
I forgot about the wheel for a second. Yeah.
And again, I have a feeling most Nurgle players are going to forget about the wheel at the beginning whenever they first start this army.
Right.
It's I do partially want to thank them for making the army this way, because it has made it possible for me to stave off not starting it.
There you go.
So I still don't really have a chaos army, so we'll just have to hold out for them
We'll
chaos
get there.
dwarves.
You'll get there. You'll get there.
Which I kind of want to do chaos dwarves in an upcoming episode as well.
Okay. We'll have to go over the army that got taken off
Yeah,
Forge World.
yeah.
We're all
I
we're
still
all
have
still looking around.
yeah,
I
I
know.
have the war scrolls. So
I mean, I'm not saying you don't have war scrolls. I'm just saying we're all still looking around, wondering where they went.
yeah,
What's gonna happen?
I'm telling you, man, I already told you what happens.
No, I know you have.
I already
I
told
know.
you, man. It's gonna be awesome.
It'll be a good time.
I
I, I hope to see the army come back.
yeah, I'm again, I'm so over like everyone taking everything and then just doing the corrupted version of it.
No, I hear you. I
Like
hear you.
and so like whenever they did with dwarves, I was like, like even whenever I first learned of chaos dwarves, I was like, oh come
Hmm.
on, like what are you
Yeah,
talking
like
about?
oh, we did that with the Marines, and now we're doing it with dwarves. Yep.
Right. And then even then, even whenever the rumors came out that the Oathbreakers are going to come back, and I was like, oh
Right.
come
Yeah.
on. But like the more it's stewed, the more I'm interested in it.
Good. Good.
Especially if they keep the Russian fuzzy hats.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see how they. I mean, being GW as of late, looking back, I think they'll pay homage to those hats if they redo those models.
We'll
They
see.
definitely.
My biggest concern is,
Mhm.
like Gene Stealer called of old was known for one model,
Right.
the limo.
Hmm.
I don't know if you remember the limo. Maybe it was before your
I
time.
do. I'd have to look that up.
Well, let's see. Hold on.
Let's yeah. Gene Stealer limo.
Okay, let's see. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and switch us over here because the camera keeps switching out whenever I don't have us here. All right, so let's see. We'll go to Google here. So I apologize for any.
Oh, the Google knew that I wanted the limo. Okay. Wow.
Hell yeah, there it is.
All right. Hmm. I mean, pretty freaking cool, actually. I'm a fan.
Right. So that's what they were known for, and then that was taken away.
Hmm. Sad times.
Yeah. So we'll see. Like I said, because the Chaos Dwarves are known for the big train.
Right. Yeah, I know. That train caused me some grief the one time I ever got to play Chaos Dwarfs.
So again, but that's a different episode. That's a different
Yeah,
episode.
yeah. For another day.
So what do you think about the Blight Lord changes?
I'll be honest, I haven't gotten into the Blight Lord changes enough. Give me 1 second here. Let me see.
So I think the way I'll just present them
Yeah,
to you, and I think you'll
go
actually
for it.
appreciate it better. So their saves stay the same, their wounds stay the same. I kind of would have liked to see them get an extra wound, but I understand. They're getting the 5-up save, so we always have to do the overcorrect,
Right.
unless they're elves.
Unless they're elves, then give it them all.
Yeah.
Give it all.
Uh, so they, due to the 6-up disease thing that's going on now, all 6-up abilities have been removed from the army,
Right, because
including
you got to do one or the other. Right.
So that includes their 6-up to do additional attacks.
Oh, okay.
Now, instead, what they do is each individual Blight King or Blight Lord now does 5 attacks.
The Blight Lords themselves, yes, they went up in attacks, and then they have you roll a dice. If you roll higher than the opponent's wounds characteristic, you do another mortal wound, right? Yeah.
So, what's funny is like if this war scroll was on the old army, I would say there's a lot of gas in the tank, and I'm not going to say they're broken, because their points are so astronomically high.
Right, they're high.
that you're not spamming.
They pick up a point of rend as well in the new book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I like.
As they need it. So there are 3s, 1 rend, 1 damage.
Right.
And
Throwing 25 attacks out of a unit.
Yeah.
Seems okay.
Yeah. Although I do say it's one of the interesting. Still, I always thought this was interesting how the leader has an extra wound.
Just give an extra attack. Make everyone's life easier.
Right. Well, so what's funny is like, so before, that just meant that you just killed the leader first to keep it at a higher strength for longer.
Exactly.
Now, in the world of all-out defense and all-out attack, you don't want to do that anymore.
Right.
So now it's kind of like, oh, the last guy in the party is going to have one more wound.
Yeah.
So that's kind of for waste. So overall, I'm very pleased with the changes. The problem is they got rid of all of the synergies to take them from a good unit to make them a great unit.
Right. No, I agree. You can't buff them up into this monster unit anymore.
Right.
They're kind of just flying solo.
Yeah.
That's all.
And again, like I said, they're 1-inch attacks. So to me, that's them saying we want you to keep it a 5-man unit.
Yep, I agree. Because going to the 10-man, boy, would that hurt if you've got to break coherency to fight and all that. Yeah.
So that is what that is. But other than that, I don't. The biggest complaint I have about the Blight Kings is they squished all of the different bug attacks into one thing, and so so they got rid of the iconic foul mouth parts, and it's just like stingers, wings, and mouth parts. And I'm like, don't just lump it in. It's foul mouth parts. Be who you meant to be. Like,
yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. Just let me say I'm attacking you with my foul mouth parts.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's the reason why you bring the army. That's I think the Great Unclean One, I feel like the wings were clipped a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. It is sad. I think they lost quite a bit, especially the Bell, and lost so much. It's real sad that he's just like a help with summoning nowadays, right?
Right. I mean, I look at this and like 18 wounds on a 4-up, 5-up. Like, you couldn't have at least, like, if you're gonna charge me 495 points, you couldn't have given me a 3-up on this thing.
Right.
I mean, true. I think the damage is a little higher.
Excuse me.
No,
Did it go up? Yeah.
the damage is a little high, but like
Okay.
I don't know, man. You gotta. They did so much taking away because like it was such a buff army, and they took away
Right.
all the buffs and they gave nothing. They were like, oh, we already gave you diseased, and like
Right.
that's the response for every unit in the army. Oh, well, you took this away. Yeah, but we gave you diseased.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to figure out because I feel like I was saying something very similar whenever we first started looking at Stormcast.
That's
Is
true.
how there feels like there are no synergies in Stormcast. Like you're not building up this big, beautiful unit with a whole bunch of different buffs and all that. You're not doing that in Stormcast.
Right.
Using
Which
them at face value to punch someone in the mouth repeatedly.
yeah,
And the more we're sitting here talking about it, the more I'm looking at profiles and stuff, the more I'm thinking we might be kind of doing the same thing. It's whether or
that's
not
fair.
that movement across the army
Yeah.
will be what the issue is. Because at least with Stormcast and all that, you have a teleport. You have some very strong cav that can go out and
Yeah.
touch things.
And you have the five move.
Right.
Now, with that being said, though, so I've already talked to Neil about going out there and trying
Yeah.
my Nurgle army.
Right. Right. The Nurgle army.
um, the Nurgle army that unites our two families. That's
There you go. There you go.
and
Got to
because
spread that contagion
I definitely think that it's an army that needs to be played in order for you to really judge it.
to understand what's going on. Yeah.
Right.
How much do these little nips of mortal wounds help here and there? And yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
like I said, I mean, if the disease was easier to spread, then yes, absolutely.
Right.
But the simple fact of the matter is that you just go down to one.
Right.
You got to put some serious pressure on every unit in the army the entire game in order to get the damage everyone's talking
Right.
about. To
Yeah,
get it
you
down.
have to be in everyone's face at
And
all
like,
times.
and you've made this hyper elite army where you're lucky if you have 5 units on the table.
No, I hear you.
I mean, I don't know what else you do with it.
Right.
I think the other big War Scroll change, the Glotkin,
Yeah.
um, he's cool. He's really good.
Mhm.
But if you think 700 points is the right points for him, you are high as shit.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I'm speaking directly to the person who came up with the idea to make this 700 points. What you should have done, okay, instead of just putting 700 points down, is you should have got a sticky note. Okay, you just wrote the Glotkin, 700 points, question
Right.
mark. Take the sticky note off. I don't know what they call it in production. We'll call sticky note. We'll just pretend
Right.
it's the same
Right.
thing.
Right.
Put it on the top of the monitor on Friday. Okay, go out, have your weekend. Get out, get some fresh air. Ironically, have some fun. Talk with some friends. Come back Monday and look at that sticky note again. And if you still think that that's a good idea, then okay.
Yeah.
But if you look at that note and go, yeah, that does sound right. Yeah, 700 is right. Then there's something wrong. Like,
Right. No, it's 700 points is very difficult. He lets you do like the out of sequence charge or whatever, right?
which honestly I don't
But
care about.
it for 700 points is expensive.
Do you know why the out of turn charge works for Iron Jaws?
What is that?
Because it's basically the entire fucking army.
That's fair.
Do you know how much I care about the Glotkin and one buddy near the Glotkin?
Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot, because there's no
Yeah.
friggin' hammers in this army. It's all anvils.
Right.
And on top of that, like, the disease comes in the movement phase, not the charge phase.
Right.
If it came in the charge phase, okay,
Mhm.
all right, maybe I could see 680.
Right. Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, no, not at 700.
No,
Um,
I hear you.
Same thing. I saw a lot of people praising the War Scrolls for the Maggotkin themselves, the three named Maggot Lords.
Right.
I think all of their War Scrolls are so disappointing.
I'll be honest, I didn't even look at them yet, so I need to.
Like I said, I mean, as far as that goes, like I said, the caster has had his abilities reduced.
Mhm.
Um, I think he's a single caster. He might be a double cast.
Okay.
But a lot of his abilities, again, a lot of his abilities were taken away. All his best spells were taken away. All of his buffs were taken away. And so, like, he doesn't do a lot of damage. He's still three something. Um,
Okay. So yeah, still pretty expensive then. Okay.
right. He's still very expensive. Morbidic Twiceborn, the Nurgling one.
Hmm.
Um, Same thing. Like they just kind of kept him in this. Like they took away his buffs,
Hmm.
but they kept him buffing Nurgling somewhat. Like you can still
Okay.
put a model of Nurglings back.
Okay.
And with the way things are like that, I
Hmm.
feel like it would have been better for to instead of adding a unit or adding a model of Nurglings to a nearby unit of Nurglings, just add a Nurgling model to his unit every turn.
To his own unit.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Give him somebody shed wounds onto or something. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that's because again, like now all of a sudden you have um, and I guess like you'd probably have to cap it at like three or something. You know, like
Sure. Yeah.
if if you have less than three Nurglings in this mod or in this unit, add a
Right.
unit.
At what?
Um, because then at that point you can either add them to that or you can add them to him. Because then you have all these little Nurglings coming in with like 15 attacks or whatever the hell it's at, looking for
Right.
those
Yeah.
sixes.
Hmm. Let's see if we can contagion something. Let's go.
Right. And honestly, that little change there would put
Hmm.
him in S tier for me. But since he's still like, you still have to bring Nurglings separate
Hmm.
from him. And then uh, I think their
They have
wounds.
to lose a base, and then you got to put it back. Yeah.
Right, right. And I think their wounds went down.
Oh, I don't know that. I need
I
to have a
forget.
look actually.
I don't remember exactly what it was. There was some change that I looked at and I was like, well, how do you keep them on the table now?
Hmm.
But they're, like I said, the Nurglings are, I think, are overpriced as well.
Right.
Because they really don't do too much more. Uh, the price on them is not because the unit is that good. It is simply just because um, you don't want someone to spam them.
Right.
Because
Okay.
if you made them like that 60 points of like the Aether Wing cost,
Yeah.
oh my dear God.
Yeah. I just looked what they're pointed at. That 105 is yeah,
That's a
a little
lot
rough.
for
Yeah.
something that's not really going to do anything other than be a tar pit for a turn. Or not even a tar pit, a speed bump.
Right.
Um, Now, the Beast of Nurgle, I like. I liked the changes before, and they just basically kept them.
Hmm.
Um, I don't necessarily know if it feels very narrative. Like it doesn't necessarily feel like it doesn't feel like you're going with the fluff. But I like
Right.
the idea of him that's like boop, 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 boop,
Mm.
boop. Just the
Yeah.
retreating and doing mortal wounds on the retreat, charging, doing mortal wounds on the charge.
Seems all right.
Yeah,
I mean, I could kind of see that yo-yo effect because I remember reading old books and saying it's like a dog, running
yeah,
around, just an overly excited puppy.
yeah, yeah.
So that's all I can think of.
But yeah, I definitely like definitely like that unit a lot.
Hmm.
Um, I don't remember all the spells, but I remember reading over them, and like there was a couple that I was like, oh, okay, but
Yeah.
not to sound like Neil. It's like anymore. There's so many armies that are so magic dominant now.
Right. Yeah. If you aren't good at magic,
Right,
you're kind of going, well, will I hit someone who's good at magic? 'Cause if I do, I shouldn't have taken any magic against them.
right, right.
It
Because
feels
again,
like.
you're. I feel like we're in this age where you either need mass spells
Hmm.
or you need one
A
or two
plus
casters
two.
that have good bonuses.
Yeah.
Now there is one build that you can go with one of the um, uh, one of the subclasses. No, not subclasses. What am I thinking of? One of the Nurgle Storm hosts.
One of the sub factions or
Sub
whatever.
faction. That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking of. There's one that allows you to bring up 3 sorcerers. That if they're within
Oh,
proximity of each other, you can choose one to get a bonus equal to the number of other sorcerers around him.
so you get what, a plus two then?
Yeah, you can get a. It
Okay.
might be a +3, but you can get a +2 at the very least.
Okay.
Um,
I'll have to read it up. So you could get a singular good gas out of the
right,
three of them.
right,
Yeah.
and and so again, the sorcerers are the other ones that I really like the ability where they have the, um, you add if a sorcerer casts an endless spell, you add the Maggot of Nurgle keyword to that endless spell, which
Okay.
is to me so overlooked. I haven't heard
Hmm.
anyone talking about it, but I know you and I talked a little bit about it. But like,
Right, because you're thinking about throwing some spells, people. Yeah.
right. So now this gives you the obvious choice is chains
Yeah. Yeah, because it
because
spreads out very nice, so you can get a lot.
it spreads out, and then it also has the potential of slowing you down,
Right.
and then it also has that non-reliable bonus of doing some damage yourself. So now you
Right.
have a unit. Now you have an endless spell that is adding disease tokens and
Right.
preventing you from getting away from it.
Right.
I forget what the other one is that I told you about. The horror ghast or something. Oh, let me take a look here.
Oh yeah. I'd have to look it up.
Is that it? Yeah, the horror ghast. Okay, so keep this in mind, guys. If you're thinking about doing Nurgle, 65 points. The horror ghast. Um, This endless spell is summoned with a spell that has a casting value of 6 and range of 12 inches. If successfully cast, set up the endless spell wholly within range of the caster. It's predatory, so you can move it up to 8 inches and it flies. Prey on Fear. Units wholly within 12 of this endless spell cannot receive cannot receive commands in the battle shock phase. So it's only in the battle shock phase
Okay.
where Nurgle is not really going to be participating, um, especially if
Agreed.
you're going Blight Kings.
Yeah.
Um, In addition, if the unit fails a battle shock test wholly within 12 inches of this endless spell, add D3 to the number of models that flee. So
Okay.
now you have this situation where you have already taken a bunch of models, not a bunch, but you've probably taken two or
You've
three
taken a
models.
couple. Yeah.
Let's say you've got them up to their 7.
So we
Um,
take another 3 contagion mortal wounds. Yeah.
Right. So now you're looking at like 5 or 6 for your battle shock roll that you're no longer able to make them immune to battle shock.
Right.
And that gives you good odds that you're going to have 1 or 2 guys running away.
And then we're
Um,
going to add to it. Yeah.
right. And then you're on top of that going to add another 3 models to run on
I
top
feel
of it.
like there's a lot of 3 model, or maybe someone will bump it up to 6 3 model units that you lose that one guy and you're like, don't worry about it. I'll just auto pass it. That
Yeah.
if, oops, sorry, you just so happen to be within 12
Yeah.
and you failed it, let's just pick the whole unit up.
And again, it's also giving disease tokens on top of
Right.
everything else.
Yeah, it's true.
And then of course
Okay.
the other big pick, you don't get to benefit from that specific mechanic, but Emerald Lifeswarm
Yeah.
adding back
Help keep the
Blight
army
Lords.
alive and going. Yeah.
Hell, adding
Yeah.
back Blight Lords. I mean that's
I mean, it's a lucky roll if you're adding back Blight Lords, but
um yeah, so I said I mean it's the problem is it's a for an endless spell it's very expensive as it should be.
right.
So
No, I'm not disagreeing.
it's this interesting place because it's like I would love to bring it in my Stormcast list,
Hmm.
but Stormcast are elite where they need this healing. But is the healing so good that you're going to take out something else, an entire other unit,
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
whenever I was doing this, I was first looking up, seeing if there was a reason to put in a purple sun, but no, there's not. There's
No,
no.
it's not there.
No. Because it's removing models. So,
Right. You just want to do some damage with it. Yeah.
but you could probably get some
Yeah.
fun out of like the Quicksilver Swords or the Burning Head.
Yeah. I was thinking the pendulum because it might be fast enough to get over
That's
there
true as well.
and hit someone in the movement and combat, so it can put 2 contagion points out there
Yeah.
against maybe 2 units,
Now, see,
and
that
it'll
would
get
be.
rid of itself eventually, so you can
Yeah.
recast it. Then
Yeah. And now, see, that would be really good if they did the um, disease points if it's based off of how I was saying, if it's based off of a maggot or
yeah.
a diseased.
Oh boy, yeah, because you just throw that in the middle of everything. Go, okay, I caught most of your army with that. Cool.
And you just see this wave for a couple turns.
Yeah. Yeah, turn 1 and 2, it just goes whoop. Ooh, okay, everyone got disease for a second because of that thing. That was a little scary.
That would be really fun. That makes me more sad that they didn't do it that way.
Oh,
Yeah, like I said, I again, even if it's not apparent as of last time, like I said, Nurgle is one of these things where it's like it's this proximity thing where if it starts coming up, the desire just shoots through, but as soon as it starts getting a little distance, just shoots straight back down.
no, I understand that completely. I've sat and looked at the Blight King army for a little while, and I've gone, looks fun, looks like it's got a lot of character to it. You can mess around with it a lot,
Yeah.
and then I've just stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
Something else catches my eye.
Yeah. But like I said, I think the Battle Tome's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But fun armies don't win tournaments.
Right. But not that that's what you need to do with everything, but
yeah, like I said, it's and yes, that's a whole conversation that we won't necessarily get into here. But like, I do think I did not want to see this as a OP top tier book.
you didn't want to see it be everyone has one of these now.
Right. Because again, I feel like with the way they did this, if this became a top tier book, it would become unbeatable.
Right. No, I think this book very well, 1 or 2 things could have been added to it, and you'd go, oh boy, this is a lot of wounds to somehow try and chew through. Oh, I did mortal wounds. Oh, they still have a 5 up. Okay, this is starting to hurt.
I definitely think if there's like the tactician, the strategist, like if I were to see, again, Bill show up with this,
right, there are those people that you'll go, oh, I'm going to get killed in a weird way, and this is going to hurt.
Oh, they're going to make me feel weird in weird ways.
I'm going to have to go and admit to losing to this.
But like I said, I like where it is. I just wish they would have pushed it up just 1 tick. Or even if they would have just limited the number of buffs as opposed to just getting rid of them. I feel like they got rid of the flavor of the individual units to have a more flavorful overall feel of the army, which is a pro and a con at the same time.
Right. But also, like I said earlier, look at the Stormcast. We definitely said the same thing about where did all my synergies go.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious whenever we look back at this book 6 months from now to go,
yeah,
all right, they're good at standing up on their own enough that they didn't need the extra.
Yeah, I definitely think there's going to be an FAQ that's needed, especially because I think I forget what it is. I think there's either a command trait or an artifact.
Something that was, written incorrectly. I would need to actually sit down.
I would say not necessarily written incorrectly, but
it wasn't
updated.
It was not checked.
Yeah,
put it that way.
It definitely tells us that the original disease thing was add a disease token for every model within X.
Right. Yeah.
Because now what disease is now, just to we probably should have said this beforehand, but at the beginning Yeah, the
At the
beginning
end of
end.
the movement.
At the end of
End
the
of movement.
movement phase and the end of the
Hmm.
combat phase, every unit within 3 inches of a Maggot Kin of Nurgle unit add a
Hmm.
disease token.
Yep.
And so whether this command trait or artifact or whatever, what it does is this unit counts as 2 models when determining disease
Right.
tokens.
Yeah.
Now, hopefully, they just switch it over to do something cool, like whenever this unit gives a disease token, give 2 instead.
Yeah, that's how it should be written,
That's
I
fine.
think.
That's not
Yeah.
broken. I don't think it's
And
broken in any way.
that one hero will give 4 if it's in combat for the whole turn.
Right.
Cool.
Right. That's
I'm going to
really
get
cool.
2 mortal wounds at the end of this. Cool. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
If I was already in combat, I'm going to roll 5 dice just off this one dude.
I mean,
Yeah,
that would be great for I forget the name of the 1 foot hero that everyone liked. I think Lord of Plagues.
I think so. Yeah.
Like that'd be great for him because he's going
Mhm.
to go off on his own and do his own little thing.
Right, and he'll get close maybe on a couple of fights and go, okay, let's see if these mortal wounds drop you for me.
Yeah. All right. Well, so I said I think that's. I feel satiated with my Nurgle talk.
Good, good. I'm glad.
Is there any other units you want to talk about or anything?
Not that I can think of. No, we did a pretty good job hitting, I feel like, the main characters of this book.
Yeah.
So,
At least the main go-tos.
right, yeah.
Uh,
We'll come back months from now and we'll grab some weird thing and start beating everyone with it that we
Yeah.
missed. That's
oh
okay.
yeah, like I said, I can't remember the named. Yeah, doesn't matter. There's like the named guy that's on like the mound of shit.
The Tallyman,
I think it's the
is it?
Tallyman. I think
Yeah.
he's really good now. His stocks have gone
Is
up a
he?
little bit.
Good.
The two Nurgle hero, the Nurgle demon heroes that came out are still good. They're not quite as good now, but they're still
Okay.
good. If I was going to be
Okay.
bringing plague bearers, I would still
Mhm.
have them in an army.
Still running as Sloppity Bile Piper
Yeah.
and the Scrivener or whatever.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, there's the name. And on top of that, they're also the bottom of the summoning chart.
Oh, okay. So you don't even have to put them in the list. You can
Right.
just get there on turn 2 or 3 probably and
Right,
go at.
exactly. Now, I know a lot of people have been complaining about the summoning. I'll just touch on
Mhm.
summoning here real quick.
Yeah.
Um, and I get it.
But also we've seen when you make it too good,
right.
what happens.
I
Yeah.
think the problem is you have a highly defensive army that's not going to lose a lot of models, and so adding models to that is exponential, as opposed to Slanesh, where it's needed to keep the quid pro quo.
Right.
Um,
Or hey, whenever you summon 25 wounds of something, that's really good. Ask Pink Horrors, and they don't even have a good save.
right. Yeah, and that's the other thing that I want to look at is like if you are complaining about the summoning of Nurgle,
Mhm.
you're not allowed to complain about the summoning of Pink Horrors.
There you go.
Because it's the same thing.
Mhm.
And the only difference is that's the only anvil Zinch has.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I get it. I wish it was a little bit more, or maybe that like the Great Unclean One added a little
Right.
bit more, or like whenever if he summons something, it costs less or something.
Right. Yeah.
Or even if it
Possible.
was whenever you summon, subtract the round number from the total points spent. I don't know.
Okay.
That might be a little strong,
Right.
but
Yeah. By the end of that, having 5 off.
I mean,
Yeah.
if summoning something big turns it over in your favor in round 5, I don't see that being an every game occurrence.
See, I don't think it's summoning something big. It's summoning onto points that you didn't
It's true.
control.
It's true.
That's what I would be worried about is, a whole bunch of cheap things, please. Thank
and
you.
also, like I said, if because again, you can only summon once per turn, or you can only summon
Okay.
once, I think.
Okay, you can't do the string along cast like Slanesh used to be able to do.
Right. I'm pretty sure it's
Okay.
just once. So again, even if
Okay.
taking that into pack, you go, okay, I'm going to drop. I think you can do I think you can do a 20 pack of Plague Bears.
Okay, on the top end of that, I believe that.
I think so. So
Or
even if you do
15 or
that,
something,
yeah,
yeah.
even if you just do that, well, because Plague Bears are now 10.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
as they should have been, in my opinion.
Gotcha. Understood.
So yeah, I mean, dropping that on one objective to get it, if that gets you one extra point and that wins you the match.
Right, yeah. Ain't bad.
I don't know. Like I said, I think that was one of the things. I, while I don't think the summoning chart itself is overly anything to complain about, I do
Right.
think they could have had a little fun with it, and not
Oh,
necessarily the
yeah.
chart, but like you said, have like just call the bell,
Mm-hmm.
give the bell to give the bell to the great unclean one, and then make an
Mm-hmm.
artifact. Call it the dinner bell of Nurgle, and you can give it to your great unclean one, and it increases summoning, so you can get a little bit more going on. Like,
Right.
have do something. Like, have
Right.
expand. Like,
Right. Make that be one of the oh, what are they called? We already talked about them. Sub factions that
that
they're
would
the
be
better
cool.
summoners. Yeah. Make it that okay, I went into the summoning sub faction, so I'm gonna play the summoning army
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Nurgle.
And then yeah, like I said, I mean that's because honestly, the sub factions are largely, um, honestly disappointing.
Yeah.
The Blight Lord or the Blight King sub faction is very disappointing.
Okay. How
Um,
so? What did you want from it, I guess?
uh, well, so let me. I'm not even gonna try and look it up here at this point.
It's okay.
So essentially, what it does is it fucks with your um, it fucks with the mortal wounds that they put at the end of the combat.
Okay. So you
Instead
could
of mortal
do
wounds, it gives out disease tokens.
I prefer the mortal wounds, please.
Right. Like I don't understand.
Like,
I'm like,
yeah, I don't want to take the extra step, please. I'd like to not.
right. Now, if it was have another, if it was instead of doing that D3 every time you give out disease,
Maybe.
okay, all right, I can see that. So now twice per turn, I'm doing
Mhm.
D3 disease tokens instead of just one.
Right.
But to go instead of mortal wounds, straight mortal wounds, you now just
Right.
put disease tokens on instead, which you're
Right. You
probably
now have to take the extra step, which probably won't do as many mortal wounds as you were hoping for.
right. You're already putting on two, and then you're also getting 25 attacks,
Hmm.
which you are
Which are going to average another 4.
right.
Right.
So if you go into round two,
Hmm.
on average, you're going to be at 7 on whatever you're attacking.
Right.
So
Yeah.
so converting your mortal wounds into disease is useless.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, very disappointing.
Hmm.
There's not like there's one for plague drones. I don't remember what that does, but I was like looking at it going,
Doesn't make them good enough, I'm sure.
I
Yeah.
don't care.
Yeah, I hear you.
So, like I said, I would have liked to seen that be a little stronger, but you can't win them all.
Hmm. No, I get it.
So, like I said, I'm going to try and get a game in with Neil. I don't know when that will happen since we are both, adults with full lives,
Right.
and he lives in Ohio.
Right. Yes, he lives in that place.
Yeah.
You know.
The Flatlands.
Yes, the flatlands. That's okay. Still love you guys out west, I suppose.
Yeah. So whenever we do get a game in, I will report back and we'll see what it
Good.
is. I'm sure since it's Neil, I'm sure I'll win. But other than that,
Oh, geez. Oof. Just throw the shade now. Here we go. Love it.
again, he's never going to watch this. But if he does, I made fun of
Yeah,
you.
we're far too deep into this.
All right, everybody. I won't keep. Well, no, I'm like 7 minutes short, but who knows?
It's
All right.
okay.
I think I've said my piece.
Hmm.
I think you've said your piece.
Yeah, I think we're good.
What do you want to do next month?
I want to talk about maybe this LVO thing.
Yeah, yeah. I
I
think
think
we can do that.
that'd be good.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see people at LVO. We'll just talk about that then.
Do you
Seems good.
think? Do you think we'll see our books by then?
Oh, for the box set coming out. Will we see them? We will see an announcement for one of them.
I
That's my guess.
I
I don't
think
think we'll have a physical book at all.
you think
Definitely.
it'll probably be February.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they're coming out the same day.
You very well may be right. Yeah. They've done that beginning of the year. What was it? Flesh Eater Quartz and Skaven came out same day at
Jeez.
beginning of the year.
There's two memorable releases.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a time, huh? Good old 2.0.
Do you have any predictions you want to give for any reveals at LVO?
At LVO reveal. You know what? LVO is where they're going to tell us about the battle tomes.
Okay.
There you go. There's the easy one.
I don't know, so I'm going to fall back on my standard, my default
Okay.
Sigmar model.
Wow. I'm glad you went out on a limb there, buddy. Glad you went out on a limb there.
Oh yeah, man.
What if they decided LVO was where they said, hey, there's going to be a new army of some sort coming out? One of the ones that have been rumored, because God knows there's been a lot.
See,
but
thank you
I
for
would
bringing
make
this up.
that I think that would be a Warhammer World event, though, if I was
So-
going to announce something.
The problem is so historically, whenever they've released new armies, it has been the spring army.
Right.
But I have a feeling this is going to be a very boring housekeeping year for AOS.
You're probably not wrong. We've had the exciting end of that stick for quite some time now.
Yes.
So,
I personally. Oh, go ahead.
let's say we'd probably get bounced back to fall if we're going to get anything really good like that. A 6 months bounce back.
I expect to see I'm expected to be surprised by the number of battle tomes that are coming out this year.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's a hope or a prediction.
I mean, there's a lot of books that are going to need the updates to 3.
Yeah,
So,
because that's one of the problems is with third edition.
there's a lot of changes that need to be made.
Right. It is not. It is. Here we go. I'll cater to my audience of one here. Using a second edition. So after playing Stormcast, so a third edition battle tome and third edition, going back to look at a second edition battle tome and third edition, feels like what you and yours would call redneck engineering.
Understood.
A lot of duct tape, a lot of rubber bands.
One of those, yeah, it works, but I wouldn't use it.
I wouldn't take it on the highway.
Yeah. Here we go. Gotcha.
So, but however, though,
Oh,
I'm going super far out here. I do think that means we are in for an exciting 2023.
okay. The way out prediction
Yeah.
is hold your breath through 2022 because we got to make it to 2023.
Right. We're pouring the foundation, but wait till you see the house.
There we go. Yeah, okay. I think I agree with you. We'll be rebuilding this year and getting everybody their third ed codex, or not codex, battle tome this year. Just passing those out like candy and say, okay, here you go. Here's a book and a hero. Here's a book and a single hero.
Yeah, I have a feeling
done.
2022 is going to be 40Ks here, and it's like a rebuilding year for us. And then 2023, 40K is going to be like, what the fuck, guys?
Right. Thought we just were your favorites again for a second. Kick to the curb, kids.
Because again, I don't know if it's all going to come out in 2023. I'm just going to hope that it does. But I am expecting Umberneth, Tyrion, the Dawnbringer Crusade, and Ironbreaker or Oathbreakers.
Whew, that would be a stacked 2023.
So again, if that goes in 20, if half comes out 2023, the other half comes out 2024,
Right.
I get it. But
That'd
at the
be
same time,
doable. Yeah.
narrative man.
Whew, boy. There we go.
Because again, like that's the thing is like they're going to be paired. So
Yeah.
I don't know how you split them apart. Like you're going to
It's
visit.
hard. It's hard for me as stepping away from the narrative, as somebody who would think of it on a marketing side, to go, hey, boss, I want to release two brand new armies at the same time.
Yeah,
Because, boy, is that not going to go down well, knowing that
that's an
people only have a
interesting.
little bit of money.
So
Like,
again, so if you look at it that way, so let's put that in perspective. Let's
mhm,
add that to the equation. So you go Umbreneth, full new army, and
mhm.
then Tyrion is literally just Tyrion, angel
Okay,
elves,
okay.
and
A
like maybe
unit. Yeah.
right, maybe a unit, maybe a unit and a ethereal, or
Mhm.
an elementary,
Right.
um, which then that would mean Iron or Oathbreakers would be the full army,
And Dawnbringer Crusade would
and
be our small,
would be
which
the
I could see that
yeah.
much easier.
And instead of doing a full overhaul and getting rid of Cities of Sigmar, it is still just a bridge for Cities of Sigmar, and then we
It's
just get a couple
yeah,
human,
yeah.
or it's just devotee of Sigmar comes back.
Right, something similar to that. Yeah, yeah. Devoted to Sigmar still can run basically the humans dispossess something like that together,
Right,
unless
like
they do
you still have
something with
access
the
to the old
dispossessed.
like yeah, you
That
still
whole book essentially, but it gets reflavored as we are not the cities rebuilding, we are the crusades going out to take people.
right.
Okay, okay. I can see that a lot easier.
So
Okay, if my marketing person would be happier with that, I feel like. Yeah.
now also I also think that the original timeline was correct and we were supposed to be seeing this stuff starting in 2022.
Yeah, but we know that's, yeah.
Right.
No, I agree with that. But I think we're probably 9 months plus behind right now, if you made
I
me
don't even
guess
think
on
it's
everything.
I think like basically everything that was supposed to happen in the last year has all been squished, compressed, twisted, and blended, and then they're
Mm,
also sprinkling in stuff that was all that it was supposed to happen now. Like
boy.
it's this weird shuffle
Right.
chat.
As it finally comes in, they're like, okay, hurry up, get it out there. Yeah.
Right, right. Um, and then on top of that, like so, like I've heard the rumors that this is like completely thrown. Like everything is like um, old world has been like just
Swept
devastated
under the
by
rug,
like
I'm sure.
they're still working on it, but it's like all production is going towards other things. People that are supposed to be working on that are now trying to work on other things, and like it's
Like
taken
not
such a
even,
back seat.
yeah, not even knowing any sort of rumors, just knowing how it is working for a
Oh,
manufacturing
because that
company
was
right
supposed to
now.
be there was
Yeah.
supposed to be in January, so it might have been LVO. The rumor was that in January was
Uh,
supposed to be the detail release of Old World.
okay. Yeah. I mean, just from a manufacturing standpoint, yeah, probably. They definitely got, well, we don't know how much money this will make us, so it's gonna get put in the bin for later
Yeah,
because it's not costing us anymore to just have it sit there for right now.
right, right. All right, there you go. Like I said, no one's watching at this point, which is a
No,
shame
you
because
got
this is
your
where the
7 minutes,
gold.
so
I
there
got
you
it.
go.
So here's the pure gold that everyone missed, the mana.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, so next month we'll talk about LVO.
Yeah.
Hopefully all that knock on wood goes well. I
Yeah.
have no expectations of it going well at all.
Hey, it'll be fine.
I'm
I'm
trying to.
hoping. Hope for that 3-2. If I can
Oh,
do
I'm not even
that with
talking
like
about that.
zero
I'm
threat.
not talking about LVO itself.
Oh,
I'm talking about getting to LVO. I am prepared for
it'll be
the
fine.
nightmare to end all nightmares.
Look, you just gotta relax. It's all gonna be okay.
uh,
I'm
uh,
panicking a little too, but don't think about it.
listen. Well, so again, like Dave and I were talking about this last night, where like I I joke about my bad luck,
Mm.
but I don't realize how much I actually pack in to compensate for my bad luck that other people just don't do. Like,
Mhm.
like I have to like I double and triple check everything,
No, I understand.
and there's still always something that like is out of nowhere. Like,
Right.
so I'm that's one of the reasons why like I'm still debating bringing like a bag to check, and instead just bringing all my clothes and toiletries in the backpack I use for AOS.
Oh boy,
So I just
just be stuffed in there.
yeah, I bring my backpack, and that goes under my chair, and then I bring
Mhm.
my case, and that goes in the upper thing, and then that way I watch my stuff at all times, and no one can do anything with it.
You know what? My mindset is if I lose clothes, that's okay. That's replaceable.
Well, yeah, but the friggin' suitcase is gonna be more expensive than the clothes.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Because what, we're gonna be gone Thursday to Monday,
Yep.
so let's see. So that's what, one, two, three, four, five. So that's 5 shirts. I can roll that up into a ball. It takes up like that much room.
I mean, it'll be 4 shirts. I'll be wearing the one I'll be taking on the
Well,
day.
yeah, yeah. You got to bring one
Yeah.
extra one just to
Yeah.
make sure.
Yeah. Oh, okay. No, just don't be messy. It'll be all right.
All right,
It'll be
everybody.
fine.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful month. We will be back sooner than you think. Any
Yeah.
parting words?
I'll see you guys out at LVO.
Hell yeah,
Come
man.
say hi.
Yeah,
Be
yeah.
great.
That's
If I find out you are the one listener still here, thank you. I'll buy
here's
you a
what
beer.
if you come up to me wearing a Double Turn Me Daddy or a Big M shirt and I don't know you, I'll give you a prize.
Ooh,
First
okay.
person.
There we go.
Is it $100? Maybe. Not saying it's not. I'm not saying it is.
Okay. Jeez.
$200? I don't know. We'll find out.
Okay. Good luck, everybody.
All right. All right. Let's
right.
get this transitioned over here, and boom, done for the month. See you suckers later.
Woo.